to right, got some barrel on it, and it is going to be down in front of the wall. Mitchell scores. Vaughn lumbering his way to the plate. He will score. Joey O with a belly flop triple.
Brian Anderson on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee takes it over New York in the series finale at American Family Field 4-3 with an OPS in the 400s earlier in the season. Ortiz has climbed back to respectability. He now has an OPS of 662. Also from the Central, it was the Tigers over the Cubs 5-1. Milwaukee's lead in the division back up to 7. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get out now and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, face, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Thirsty Thursday and a Friday, Junior. Meet the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. What's going on, Wisconsin? Madison, 1070 AM, 920 in Milwaukee. It is 5:03 in the good land, but we're going to take you all the way to 8. That is Armen Sari, and I'm Billy Schmidt. Armen, it's crazy when Drew Olson is off that these weeks we kind of dread because it is it's tough to do the show without your fearless leader and without your quarterback. But much like the Malik Willis games, I think the people around everyone else, the community of the locker room, generally pick up their entire performance. I got to give you a round of applause, sir. You've been phenomenal these first 3 days. Now, we got 2 more to get through.
I appreciate it.
So let's continue to grind because we don't want to know what has happened and what went down. What went down in December. Packers and Bears.
Oh, yeah.
We can't rest on our laurels. We can't be up 16-6 and then go slide down the back of the dinosaur. But we're doing pretty well here today on day number 4.
I would agree with that. We are. I mean, don't know how it is for you, but sometimes that's when you hit a wall at some point in the week. Is it day 3? Is it day 4? Is it depending on your schedule during the week? But I appreciate the kind words, although, William, we got to play 4 quarters here. I don't
100%.
I don't want to declare victory. I don't want to start putting up banners early here. I don't want to declare victory. So, we'll hope for the best here in the last 2 days that we can run through the tape. I mean, listen, everyone can run 300 meters. Can they run 400 meters? Isn't that what the coach said in track? I never made a track
I wasn't
team.
on a track team, but I will tell you that's probably it because
Right.
I've seen a number of folks hit about that 360 meter mark and then realized that last 40 was was where you really added the 0.
Yeah.
That was where it really got punctuated. So we bring in Hunter Baumgardt later on today to help us out, and he'll discuss the series that was with the Brewers and Mets as the Crew pick up another come-from-behind win yesterday and hang on in the 9th inning, 4-3 the final. Trevor McGill gives up 1 in the 9th inning. Now, it's been a while since McGill has been giving up a run, so it felt a little bit strange to see any traffic against the Brewers closer. However, all's well that ends well and ends with a Brewers dub. It ends with you now waking up today, once again, 7 games up in the division because thank you, as you continue to need a little bit of help every once in a while. Detroit Tigers win 2 of 3 from Chicago and continue to keep them a little bit at bay.
Nice to see. That was great and a very important week for the Tigers. So you'd figure they'd be motivated, but the Cubs should be too. So that was good to see the Tigers get 2 out of 3 and the Brewers to finish off the Mets to win the series. They kind of edge them. You know, they had opportunities they missed yesterday. It felt like, is this going to come back to bite them? But once again, the train keeps rolling. Somehow, some way, the Brewers get it done. Not always pretty, Billy, but not always ugly either. I mean, listen, there were some great moments yesterday, and the Brewers find a way once again to get 2 or 3 and just keep winning series, which is not, you know, it's something we're getting used to, which is fantastic, and we've gotten used to, but it's not that easy. But it's great to make the remarkable seem unremarkable, which is what we always would say about Aaron and Giannis and those guys. And the Brewers are doing it as a team now, and especially the new star of the team. I don't say new star, but the emerging star, Joey Ortiz. What a weapon. I'm calling him the weapon. That's my nickname.
So that's the new nickname for Joey Ortiz going forward?
Trying everything. I already tweeted it once today. I mean, that was amazing, right? At Armen, sorry. No, I already.
It was amazing when you tweeted this morning. I appreciate it. I loved it. Yes.
The weapon. But a homer short of the cycle yesterday, and I love it. They booed the fact that he got walked. They were looking for the cycle. The fans were looking for the cycle last night.
You got to at least give the guy a chance at it.
Chance.
He talked after the game, and I do like the Brewers and their media relations department. Hunter and the boys are now talking to the guys in front of a pretty sweet backdrop. You know, maybe outside of their locker, huddled up, blocking somebody else's view of or access to their locker. So they've got a nice little spot where guys are getting walked over to, and Joey Ortiz walked over and discussed it with the fellas yesterday. And some of the videos are all the same. Most of them are similar. Whatever point of the conversation you pick it up at, it really doesn't matter to me where I'm playing as long as I'm on the team and I'm helping out. And then to be able to have that come to fruition, man, when your job gets thrown to somebody else is, we used to joke about it with Jake Bauers. Now, hard to joke about it with Jake Bauers. He's in the midst of a careir year. A bit of a slump in that career year that we're hitting for Jake Bauers. So there's gonna be some rocky moments.
That happens.
That right when it got worse for Jake Bauers and somebody was potentially going to swipe in that 25th roster spot, Jake Bauers would go 3 or 4 and have a great week.
He'd find a way.
Where Joey Ortiz, right in the nick of time, as the trade deadline is going to be approaching in a couple of weeks, you just bring up a $50 million man to take the shortstop spot. It's like, actually, you know what? Why don't I see if I can grab any bit of this bat ability and all of a sudden lock up this third base spot, and I can be your Huckleberry and I can be your midseason acquisition? Because I don't know that we anticipated this kind of jolt offensively from 3 once he went over to 3B.
No, not at all. And it was one of those things you kind of, held that lottery ticket hope for in the back of your mind, saying, well, third base is where he hit the ball the best. But there was, and that's always a tough thing because it's one of those baseball things that makes no logical sense. So you couldn't figure out, as our fearless leader, Drew Olson, would say, that's the logic was flawed or not flawed. You couldn't find why that logic would work, right? It doesn't make much sense in terms of, if a guy's playing a different position 60 feet over, why should he hit the ball better? But for some reason, it seems to be that way for Joey Ortiz. And, I've been complimenting him so much for the way he's handled this change, the transition, quote unquote, losing a job at shortstop. But maybe he doesn't mind it in the back of his mind, saying, you know what, I'm hitting better here, so I'm not so mad about it. So he has handled it great. He has been better with the bat at third base. But yeah, to your point, Billy, no rhyme or reason why. Like there's no straight logical reason why you should, other than maybe, I don't know, the shortstop take that much more focus away mentally. I'm sure he wouldn't say that. I'm sure he would never agree that he's focused more at the plate now rather than he was a month ago.
Sure.
It just seems to be happening for him right now. And the time, and that's what's great about this team is the Brewers have needed that bat. He's come through multiple times in the last few weeks. And there's going to probably be a time when it's going to be somebody else. And it has been, and it's going to be somebody else. So this team continues to pick each other up through all these kind of forests they're navigating to continue to win games. And Joey's been that guy. He's been able to do that. And now growing confidence at the plate, which is a great thing because now he can step up believing, okay, because he's always in those big moments. We know that.
Yeah,
he's always there.
He generally does just find himself in big moments. There's not a whole lot of nobody on, 2 outs.
Never for him.
Up 4 that he ends up at the plate.
And yesterday, the triple he got, which was also like, it's nice to get a break once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was kind of a train wreck in right
Make
field.
your own good fortune. Yeah.
So he caught that break, but that was another situation where, okay, the Brewers had a couple on with no out. They were in danger of squandering another rally. and Joey came in with the big hit and kind of saved them in that inning, because they had a couple other ones like that, and it's maybe a growing concern, but it is what it is. We're just nitpicking, but so those situations, Joey's come up big, and it's just great to see. And the thing that was constant, well, two things were constant, in my opinion. The thing that was constant for him through his struggles were his defense, obviously.
Like that was the number one.
The number one thing you could count on was his defense, and that was sustaining him. That was sustaining his position, his confidence, his value to the team. He made another great defensive plays yesterday on that bunt, and then of course to end the game with a dive. And I think the attitude is the second one. He's handled all this stuff with a great attitude. The approach yesterday, once again, he said it. I'm part of the team. That's my role, and whatever way I can be part of it and help the team win is my goal. Attitude can determine outcome, and he's a great example of that. And that's a lesson for all of us. So he's handled everything great. And now, like I said, Billy, the weapon. He's become a weapon now for this team instead of a liability, where you have other guys. You have Cooper in the role at second, who's done a good job, I think. His offense is going to come and go. And then now you have Joey, who at one point was the hole in your lineup. Now you're looking at him as like, wow, look at this guy we have in this kind of hybrid bench role,
Yeah, and if you can make sure and know that he's going to be a somewhat constant in that lineup, and that you have then the ability, once Hamilton comes back, to really just pick and choose your matchups. Right. And I do think, and this is going to be a tough one, because when you watch somebody over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, last 15 days hit 324, the last week hit over 400, and a guy that didn't have an extra base hit for the first 2 months of the year. Like that's the other part of the Joey Ortiz offensive outburst. He had no doubles, no triples, no homers until the first extra base hit he hits is a double on May 8th. Like, that's a heck of a run to then all of a sudden in a week's time, now here in the middle of July, after a position change, you go a 7-day span where you have, in a game where you have a double and a triple, you got 2 bombs, you drive in 6, and a 1,400 OPS. So it's a little bit stark of a difference. But a lot of it is because of one thing that you mentioned there. You control the controllable, coaches will always like to say. One thing you can control is your attitude.
Yes.
And the energy that you bring into the clubhouse each day is going to be looked at and checked by pretty much everybody else that shows up as well. And when you match the good vibes that are in there and add to it, people want good things for you. And luckily we got some good things from Joey Ortiz, 3 hits yesterday. And you mentioned a couple of great gems defensively as Jeff Levering capped off the game on the radio call yesterday. Said that it's officially the Joey Ortiz game. Yes. Cool for that to be the punctuation mark on a game yesterday. The Brewers win at 4-3. And they also now have, once again, they're a half game behind LA for the number 1 overall seed. The NL East is the one that you can also look at if you're trying to watch into the positioning going forward, that the Brewers sit now 5.5 games up in that department over the division leader in the NL East. So that's for the bye. And that's going to be one of the other races that you start watching and keeping an eye on, because we're getting inside of the 60-game sprint to the finish. And the Brewers are going to be once again in position to host more playoff games at American Family Field, which is an exciting thing, but not have to do that stupid 3-game series. Like that is, and I've read some,
get the bye, I should say,
and hearing some rhetoric, and I'm going to have to verify all of it before I, get too hot and bothered with it.
Why, you don't want to become Pat Beverly?
Yeah,
I want Centell'd. Oh, he got Centell'd yesterday.
Oh no, what did he get Centell on?
It wasn't Centell, but he got a bad source that said LeBron was gonna announce, I think.
Oh, that he was gonna announce? Did he put up a YouTube stream?
He said something, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't believe my source was bad." And it's like, you're just one of us now, Pat Bev. Getting baited out there.
Sources say the Miami Heat are looking for a YouTube director of content.
I saw that.
Or director of strategy, pardon me.
That's so funny. Although someone noted that has been posted for a couple of weeks, but I don't care. It's still funny. It's still funny. We're not gonna worry about that part of the story.
It's fine that it was up for a couple of weeks. Even better, I thought it was just ChatGPT and people were being way too good with AI away.
I thought that
to
was
fire up a fake job posting.
Yep.
That was to me where as long as that it is real, that it is spectacular. However, let's get back to case in point. No, you're fine. That when approaching the trade market, the Chicago Cubs have been thinking and eyeing up the fact like they don't want to just be in the in the 3-game series. They want to find a way to get a bye. Well, that's cute. Got to figure out a way to chase down 7 games now inside of 60 games. And we've been in that spot. You've lived that life now that you become accustomed to a certain standard of living. I didn't necessarily in 23 and 24 maybe put as much pressure and thought into trying to grab yourself that bye. But once you live that 5-game life instead of the 3-gamer, it's a different world in that series.
We're spoiled now, Billy. It's not just about, hey, we're getting to the playoffs. It doesn't matter what happens. We made the playoffs. We'll do everything we can just to make it. We're spoiled now. We need that bye. We need to set everything set up for us. I can't just fly now. I need to fly first class.
No, I feel like I was in the Delta Lounge.
We're in the lounge.
I feel like I was in the lounge with cookies and beer.
I need all that free stuff. We're flying now. We need VIP check-in. We need all that stuff.
And then once you actually got on the plane, you did sit back in 36C.
Yeah.
Because then you realize, well, I'll probably be because you ended up in a middle seat. But like the experience beforehand leading up to it, it was damn good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Now let's see exactly if you can continue to add on to it at the end of this year. 877-794-1973, 608. Great for Ortiz. Now put him in a trade before we know what's going to happen where he stinks.
Here we go. I knew that was coming. And you know what? It's okay because it's unfortunately what some people have been coming to expect from him. But he does bring a good point. Like, I don't think Joey's going to keep up this pace forever. You rattle off the numbers, Billy. They're fantastic. Obviously, this is not the regression of the mean. So this is not the mean for Joey Ortiz. He's been super hot. So, at some point he will probably regress a little bit. But I wouldn't say you look to trade him because, what's still his value to most teams. Although maybe it's there somewhere. Maybe it's the offseason. But right now he still has a value to your team. But it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it'll be. But to the texter's point, into the offseason, then it can become a conversation
where you built this value up to
where you did, because again, and these are the difficult parts of managing and maneuvering the offseason or the midseason trade deadline for the Brewers, where you do feel like you have so much buzz coming in and steam rolling behind you, but you also have so many guys that are nipping at the heels of the guys at the big league club, and believing that Andrew Fisher can be playing major league games within the next calendar year would lead you to believe, or you would then think, hey man, that position's probably movable.
Yeah.
That would be a movable thing in the offseason. The other part of it for Ortiz, and I think this is where the club and, Murphy and Arnold, whatever grouping of decision makers, but I do believe that the head of the snake comes down to those two cats and those two leaders in identifying and letting each other, I think, in on how they're feeling a player's development's rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You make a deal like trading a Cy Young Award winner, one guy that you thought might be a starter, hadn't really done much. He's been good in the bullpen, but he's been hurt, DL Hall. And then all of a sudden you got this sweet guy that was a top 100 prospect that kind of felt like a throw-in. He was kind of log-jammed there in Baltimore. Why was he expendable? Maybe you realized it when you're watching the offensive struggles. The patience that they've shown, some of it I do firmly believe off of just ego of wanting that trade to work out.
Oh, sure, because they
right,
made
like
the move. Yeah.
You're gonna give yourself a little bit extra leash to hopefully try to be right.
Absolutely.
Again, it has been a nice week. It has been a nice 3 weeks or 4 weeks, wherever your line of demarcation for Joey Ortiz is.
Yeah.
But Arnold and Murphy, probably Pat almost more, because he's the one that has to be putting the name on the lineup card every single time.
And managing him every day, but you're right. And putting his name in, putting him actually in the game.
Continuing to let that flower grow until it ultimately blooms.
Try to just see it through, to see that plant through.
We used to always hear it as a watering the bamboo, but bamboo plants don't grow. You got to water it 3 times a day for 6 months.
But they grow fast, though.
And then all of a sudden in that 6 month span, it'll shoot up 6 feet in 3 weeks.
Yeah, because you have to sometimes be patient.
You diligently daily water that bamboo.
Wow, you have that was a great reference by whatever coach you had, the bamboo. He went deep into that, like, agrarian entomology.
I've remembered that one for a long time because
good.
I did not realize where Coach Biff was going with that one as he was spinning those keys.
I like that a lot, and that's a good example of you don't know when the payoff.
I omitted a couple of words that were a part of that phrasing and a part of that story.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but the gist of it was there. The gist of it was there.
Sure.
We never fact checked because I also think he said 60 feet. I don't think anybody believed the thing was going 60 feet.
No, but bamboo does grow quick, I think.
Go real quick.
So
real quick.
Maybe
not 60 feet in 6 weeks, which I think was the number we were given, but we understood what it was.
Sure.
We got the gist of it. 877-794-1973. Jeffrey in Milwaukee, same question, similar question from our friend Paul on the YouTube comments. We'll get into some more as they said, what's the latest buzz? The tough thing about the latest buzz is the buzz is waiting. Buzz is sitting inside.
Buzz, guys.
There's not a ton yet.
Well, not since yesterday's buzz. Like, I don't think there's a new buzz. Should I say that? Like, it's a very generic
that buzzing
question.
You're hearing, I think, is the same beehive that's hanging out.
Yeah.
When we're waiting for anybody to come out of the beehive, so then you can spray it and get the thing down, and then be able to go and capture it. But right now, I think we're all playing the waiting game. But we'll add a little bit of fodder there.
Troy's got a buzz in his head. He says 5 a.m. hungover crew here.
Let's go.
I guess Troy hit it hard last night. So he's got a buzzing.
Troy understands. Best way is a little hair of the dog. Welcome into the 5 a.m. club. Grab yourself a warm or cold beverage of your choice to wake up and fire up on a thirsty Thursday and a Friday Junior here on the Huddle. Armen Sarian's right there. I'm Billy Schmidt. Brewers win once again. We're talking about it at 877-794-1973. Packers are inside of 1 week away from training camp. They've got one contract already done, one more extension, one more to go. When will we see 85 sign on the dotted line? We'll discuss that as we roll through here today. And coming up tomorrow on the program, I've been told that we get a very, very exciting announcement regarding some Packers conversation and Packers football to discuss. So very much looking forward to that one. And we'll throw some more tea leaves out there as the Packers get closer and closer to Ray Nitschke Field. We get to hang out with you at 877-794-1973. No Drew. We'll try to keep the boat afloat. That's Armen Sarian. I'm Billy Schmidt. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Roll me the dough.
This inning, Ortiz fly ball to right, got some barrel on it, and it is going to be down in front of the wall. Mitchell scores. Vaughn lumbering his way to the plate. He will score. Joey O with a belly flop triple.
Brian Anderson, Brewers TV on the call. Joey Ortiz on one of two extra base hits yesterday, a double and a triple, and a pair of RBIs for the Brewers. Now third baseman in the 4-3 victory for the Crew. Welcome in. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. 5 a.m. Clubbers unite on the talking text line 877-794-1973. No Drew Olson, so we need some audience participation, Armen.
Yes, and we're getting it for sure on the NickLayLaw.com talking text line. And it's already coming in here in the video stream comments as well. YouTube, X, Twitter, Facebook. You can get us everywhere if you want to, and I know you want to. So get in here early. Since you're up at 5 a.m. anyway, you might as well. And a little chilly this morning too, so you got to get warmed up with us. I love the excitement and like that like exuberance in BA's voice when he says Joey got a barrel on it.
Yes. Like wait a second, blind squirrel finds a nut in front of us.
It's still happening. Like, because he's been getting some barrels lately, but like he still almost can't believe it. One of those things. And I'm just distracted. MLS. It's still the MLS. Terrible goalkeeping. All right. Anyway, yes. So the fact that he got the barrel
now this is in the last minute and a half. We'll get back to the Brewers conversation one quick second. This is the last minute and a half. You've gotten caught twice, squirrel-esque, with the attention span on the TV. You had just asked me before the break if I knew that the Athletes Unlimited Softball League was a thing.
I didn't realize
AUSL.
They had a promo on ESPN, and there's a pro women's softball league. I feel bad. I should have known that.
It was maybe not too bad. It was founded in 2024, run by Athletes Unlimited, and it competes in a regular 30-game season.
Yeah,
and right now in a very small, truncated 6 markets. But one of the teams, I'm definitely sure that you're not watching any games at Tom Heath Field.
Unfortunately,
because that one's the Oklahoma City Spark. So I know you're not watching the Oklahoma City Spark.
No,
I thought you might be in on the Durham, North Carolina Blaze.
I'm not aware of the Blaze, but
are you familiar with the Chicago Bandits?
I'm not. Where do they play?
Over at Parkway Bank Sports Complex in Rosemont, Illinois.
Oh, okay. I think that's where
right near where the Chicago Dogs.
The Dogs. That might be the Dog Stadium. Yeah, that might be the Dogs.
I believe it's the one right next to it. They got a nice little complex right over there in Rosemont, kind of over by the Allstate Arena.
By Allstate, Rosemont's got all businesses.
What about the Utah Talons?
The Talons, like on a bird, not the talent. The Talons.
Talon.
Like that a lot. I mean, there's probably a lot of birds of prey in Utah. I have to get into this. I haven't watched. I like that it's in Oklahoma. That's definitely a softball market. Definitely.
And the Texas Volts over in Round Rock, Texas.
I'm going to be checking
I don't think you should. I do think that you should be watching and trying to figure out Grace Jenkins, catcher over in Arizona.
Okay.
She's in the reserve pool athletes. But I had the same question that you did a couple of weeks ago because I saw a ton of these advertisements rolling through. Like, when on earth did I miss this? I didn't know if it was like the British Basketball League.
Yeah, I didn't like the BBL, right?
At some point during the ending of FanDuel Sports, Bally's Sports, I can't remember where it was in that conglomerate when the BBL first became aware or onto our radar because they would pump the ad more than the Potawatomi Sportsbook ad during in between games,
all the time,
in between innings. The British Basketball League. So I thought that was where this was. Instead, this is a real deal, and it's growing, and it is a exciting deal. Maybe more exciting than the MLS. But if we got goalkeepers kicking the ball into their own net, like you just saw over there, maybe we need to be watching more.
There's
MLS.
A lot of great women's sports leagues. The PWHL, the Women's Hockey League,
Professional Women's Hockey League,
and I know there's the soccer league as well. So there's a lot of them growing, and good to see.
People are only watching the W, it seems like. No, we got to expand our horizons.
I love to see the expansion of women's sports and as a business, and it's happening more. We love live sports, and they put it in the right market. Oklahoma City, I lay it on them a lot, but the reality is that's a softball market, as we know, Billy. They go crazy for softball.
That's true.
Oklahoma and the SEC, some of those areas. So good to see. Pretty good stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I just keep getting squirreled by what I see on TV because they were replaying the.
Now you better watch out because now they're showing Caitlin Clark.
Well, Caitlin got another tech last night, so she's one away from like some sort of suspension, I think. Right.
So is she the Luka Doncic of the NBA of the WNBA?
Maybe, and maybe that's why she's such a polarizing.
Where
figure.
refs just get too annoyed listening to her chirp.
She does do a little bit of that. It's okay to admit, even if you love her, that she does do a little bit of that. She talks a lot, so that might be yeah, I mean, exciting score.
I mean, I think some people probably enjoy her more because she does talk a little smack. But
is Luka the best scorer in the NBA? If you think that, some people do. I don't know that I would say that, but he's up there. One of the best scorers, just pure. And Caitlin's probably one of the best pure scorers. Not necessarily all around, but
because I think both of them probably can get hunted a little bit defensively. That's fair. Yeah, I think that would be fair. 877-794-1973. I gotta watch more W to be able to get fully in on that
one. For sure.
Well,
playoffs are starting, or the Commissioner's Cup, right? Or is it All-Star game this weekend? I know there's an All-Star game coming up. So, did you see?
I'll definitely be watching.
You'll be watching. Heck yeah,
I'll definitely be watching. JB and
over. Take the over. They're gonna be scoring the best players in the world, right?
Yeah, maybe.
It's the All-Star game. Take the over.
Maybe. JB and Francis. Joey moving to third base sparked his bat, and he's playing awesome defense. Yeah. Leads into our 715 texters point, which I think is one of, if not my favorite text we've gotten in a while, because it calls back to something Mike and Merrill does that we heard right here on the radio show. Matt Erickson was interviewed a month or two ago and went all through every defender on the team and the pipeline that they had. He said that Joey Ortiz was the best pure glove talent in the organization, and that is why he's been on the roster and will continue to be on the roster, even if the bat struggles. His two plays over at third base last night, saved a run and possibly sealed the game on the final play. The ability to impact the game defensively, you're seeing a lot more teams, or at least hearing them give lip service to one of the styles of play that the Brewers have, I wouldn't say made famous, but they have kind of made one of their trademarks over the last couple of years. And since probably David Stearns first emerged with Craig Counsell leading the brain trust of we're going to build this thing on pitching and defense.
Yes.
I feel like I'm hearing a lot of team that just walked out of here wanted to be a pitching and defense organization. When you hear people say they wanted Craig Counsell to bring a little bit of the Milwaukee down to the north side of Chicago, it wasn't, let's make sure that we find a bunch of random guys that nobody's heard of and they become great elite bullpen arms. They would like that to be the offshoot. But I think it started with pitching and defense. And if indeed that's going to be the way you're going to build out your roster, it can't just be lip service. It's got to be put into practice. And I think this would be a real good case study of it, Armen, and what Mike just pointed out there of how Matt Erickson laid it out, because he's third base coach and infield coach, one of the infield coordinators, I believe. I don't want to shortchange. Yeah, maybe senior vice president of the infield.
I love that. I love having those titles now.
Director, senior vice president of infield.
What would they have thought about that in the 70s? You know what I mean? In the 80s. But I love it.
Think about being able to add a little raise onto that one too. But you can't just, it can't just be something that gets put on a board and that you think about in draft time. But when you're filling out a lineup card and when you're talking about the development of the guys that you have there waiting, Ortiz is a huge part of it. And he's got a nice opportunity here. Because again, as we look through all of the different trade targets, and Jeffrey in Milwaukee said, what do you guys think at least the Brewers need before the deadline to be satisfied with improving the team? Obviously, Skubal and Mason Miller would be phenomenal.
Oh, we talked about that.
But what else from that? Yeah. I mean, it really is. There's a bunch of names pitching-wise, and there's not a ton of offensive guys that are going to get a lot of people very excited.
Especially right-handed bats. There aren't a lot of really good right-handed bats coming up.
That's another big part of it, right? Yeah. Like Isaac Paredes might be the most gettable available bat on the market, and I think a lot of people would say, who?
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard of. I guess I've heard of him. I know that he's hit in the middle of some lineups, but I don't watch a ton of Houston Astros games, and I don't know a ton about him. But there's so many names in the pitching department that are going to be moved that I think that's going to be a lot more gettable. And if it comes down to the market inefficiency, I don't see the Brewers being one of the teams that if there's two prized fish, that they're going to be over there trying to swim in that pond.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the price goes up on those guys, the market will dictate it. So, that remains to be seen.
And there's a lot more buyers than there are sellers.
That's the thing.
That continues to be the number one talker around this deadline.
No, it bees the talker. I mean, is it?
That's awesome.
It bees.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about bees already, and the buzzkeeper and the beekeeper for the Brewers, Paul K. Yeah, I mean, that's the buzz and that's the reality, Billy, right? Because who's going to sell, who's not, is still the most intriguing story around a pretty intriguing deadline, I'd say, because everyone's kind of in monitoring mode. So a deadline spur action, as Drew always says, and we'll see how that goes. Joey Ortiz, it's nice to know, nice to see his success. And you mentioned the pitching and defense. Everybody likes to say that. No, there isn't one team organization in the world that wouldn't say we want to build around pitching and defense. Like, so to your point, it's easy to say, how can you put it into practice? But the defense for Joey Ortiz has been consistent. And Billy, can I throw a theory at you here?
I'm ready for it.
Have you heard the Bryce Wilson, Joey Ortiz theory? Well, I only saw it because of the great Jack Stern. I'll give him all the credit on Twitter. Okay. Joey Ortiz, when Bryce Wilson's not a member of the Brewers, 736 plate appearances, batting 228, 313, 281 slash line, and only a 67 OPS
a
plus.
281 slugging percentage?
That's what I said. That's that bad. That is what I said. I mean, we're talking Jackie Bradley type stuff there. All right. So, all right.
So
Joey Ortiz, when he and Bryce Wilson have been teammates on the Milwaukee Brewers, 543 plate appearances, 246, 335, 417, 110 plus OPS. So there's something about Bryce Wilson that makes Joey Ortiz go from barely 4A to being one of the great players in baseball. So Bryce, thank you. I don't know why.
Wow.
I don't know what you did, but hey, man, I mean, a correlation like that has got to equal causation.
Well, at least
got to be the reason. Right?
Yeah, and it makes me feel a little bit it makes me feel better about knowing that it was a 1-year deal for Bryce Wilson, that there wasn't even just a minor league contract and a call up. They just said, you know what, we're putting you on this 40. We're putting you on this squad. We can't be risking anything here because we can't risk a dip over with our now breakout offensive third baseman.
And then we have and then Kurt Hogue found an old video from 2 years ago, 24, where Bryce was talking about Joey and how the Orioles messed up by letting him go. You got Corbin, but that's a generational player. He hits, he plays elite defense. So I just love our beat. I love our beat. They're just
that's a generational player. And being able to throw in one of your favorite tags on a performance, that's exciting.
I mean, that's great research. And you throw our own Hunter Baumgardt in there. We got the best crack staff of beat. I mean, our Brewers beat has just does such a great job. In a changing landscape of business. So that is pretty good, man. I love that. Hey, I love Dana West Bend saying it's the lightning rod game. Joey Ortiz and Christian Yelich, the two guys everyone loves to complain about all the time, are the two guys that had the biggest games last night. So, yes, the lightning rod game. I like that.
Well, and which one do you feel better for? I think it's definitely Joey Ortiz because of the tenuous nature of his standing.
Yeah. I mean, Christian's a made man, obviously.
But damn, that's got to feel good for Yelly to at least be able to have a couple of. I mean, it's not like this is anything crazy. We're not into a 2018 back half of the season stretch.
No.
But
we want to get him going again.
But you want to hit over the Mendoza line for a couple of weeks. And it was so rough there for a while that any bit of positivity and signs of life and any little bit of power, a little warning track power, but you bank one off the wall and end up at third base. It doesn't matter if it doesn't sneak out.
That's the thing. I don't know what his last homer was, but he has had the doubles and he had the triple. And let's be honest, it's okay to say that. A lot more of a legit triple than Joey's was last night, which is fine. You take him however you get him, but his was absolutely laced to the wall. So
we want to venture a guess at Christian Yelich's last homer?
It's been at least a month, hasn't it?
July 4th.
Oh, not that far.
Not as long as you thought before. There you go.
I probably was busy on the 4th of July and I didn't notice it. That's probably what it was.
Now, before then,
longer.
Before then, longer. June 17th. So over a month.
Okay, but you know what?
Over a month. Well, so that was the only homer he hit in June. So May 25th was his, as he sits here now, with 6 bombs. That was his 4th.
Yeah, but lately he's
2 bombs in almost 2 full months.
Not a lot of bombs, and that, okay, whatever. You'd like to see home runs, obviously, but he's had a double every day or this triple. So he's gone over the total base. If you go over 1.5 total bases, and this is not even a betting thing, but that's a betting line, obviously. If you do that every day, you're going to be one of the best hitters in the game, right? Or no? Is that right?
I believe that would be factual.
If you get a double every day or 2 singles every
double
day.
a day would keep a new DH away. That's for sure.
Let's go.
That would keep you in the lineup and keep you right there at the top if that's exactly the kind of run you end up going on.
And he got the triple and the RBI single.
And you'd find me at the Potawatomi Sportsbook cashing it on it at 877-794-1973. John and Fondy, second time joining the 5 a.m. club. Welcome, John.
What's up, John?
Morning, boys. Any concern that Harrison's injury, limiting innings, and the excessive bullpen use will haunt us?
Yeah, there's
again.
Concern. Yeah, there's concern. There's concern about a lot of stuff every day. I worry about that all the time. I mean, but I'm trying to push those thoughts out of my mind. So stop texting them in. All right.
Jeez.
Yeah, of course we're concerned.
Second time joining the 5 a.m. clubber, and you're telling them to stop texting?
No, that's what
Don't be doing that to our boy John and Fondy. We'll get more in on those concerns coming up. We'll hear from Hunter Baumgardt on the other side, and we'll ask him about his concern with Kyle Harrison's potential injury. Now, sounds a little better about Harrison. We'll get a full update on the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report with Hunter as well. But we'll get Hunter's recap of the series coming up on the other side. Armen Sarian's right there. I'm Billy Schmidt. It is the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Get him, Jay. I wonder if that's exactly what they say when Joey Ortiz gets into the batter's
That's
box.
exactly what I thought. That's what inspired.
Is that just what they're sitting there waiting
Get him,
for?
Jay.
Go get him, Jay. Maybe that's what Bryce
one.
Wilson's hyping him up with during the hangouts in the locker room.
We're on your back now.
I think he moved his locker right over there. Those Jack Stern numbers.
Maybe.
I think I might have him rooming with him on the road.
I'll tell you what. You in baseball, you take whatever it takes.
877-794-1973.
Now, who's going to help Bryce Wilson's numbers? You know what I'm saying?
Bryce Wilson's going to help Bryce Wilson's numbers.
Okay, I
We're going to get him into some more opportunities, maybe as many of the low leverage spots as he possibly can find, and pump a bunch of strikes and feel good about it. Now, Armen Sarian at Armen Sarian, where you follow him online, you have for years, but you have to refollow him because he got hacked, and now he's back into the saddle again.
Yes,
said some of
follow
us
me.
never stopped believing in Joey Ortiz.
Yeah.
You do deserve credit for that.
Thank
You deserve credit for that. While
Do I?
I don't know. You believed him a lot more than I did while I was beating him over the head over here, wondering who on earth could possibly take over his position for the last year and a half.
No, that's true. And maybe I shouldn't have believed in him that much, but I guess I try to keep the faith on him. So I don't know if that's just blind faith or but I'm glad it paid off.
Maybe it's more, there's so much more faith you've had in Joey Ortiz and calling back to his offensive numbers when he was playing third base.
I did mention that, yes.
Compared to the lack of relative faith, it seems like you've had in Sal Frelick for quite some time. That maybe that's where the balancing act is wrong in my mind. But I think you've had a lot of belief in one Joey Ortiz, a lot of good stuff to be able to discuss as well. And we appreciate and want more of our 5 a.m. club interaction. I don't know how I feel about this one from Ryan Muskego. Morning, boys. Listen.
Well, good start. Okay.
As great as the 5 o'clock club is.
Uh-oh. Come on.
This phenomenal show needs to expand.
Okay.
Let's get this thing rolling at 4 a.m. The blue collar 4 a.m. club. I know Armen would rake at 4 a.m. like Joey O is raking at the plate. Let's go.
Listen, I'll give you this. All right. If we were, I will give you this. We would be an absolute unstoppable force at 4 a.m. Nothing could stop us from just putting anything and everything on these airwaves at 4 a.m.
Oh, God. You want to talk about unfiltered?
But I don't think that's going to happen, bro. I just don't. I'm sorry. That's 5 a.m. is one thing, man.
I do. Now, I do feel somewhat confident that there might be some expansion that could be happening here.
Well, now that would be something
Actually,
else.
Won't say could. Will be happening
Oh,
here.
here we go.
There will be some expansion coming up.
Let's go.
I don't know in that direction.
Well, no.
Because we have a couple of absolute weapons at our disposal. And one of which I have now rambled too much that we can't get our weapon, Hunter Baumgardt, in this segment, and I apologize. So he's going to lead off hour number 2.
He's going to start 6 o'clock.
He's going to lead off hour number 2.
Which is a big thing.
But one of the great weapons that we have on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, Ben Maller.
Big Ben Maller. Are you kidding me?
I don't know that that's what we can be putting off of the air.
If you listen,
when you start talking about a power hour of 4 a.m. for the Blue Collar Club, my man Ben Maller is letting it ride there in that 4 o'clock hour. I don't know how we could possibly take that.
Not only him, he's the callers, his crew. They're letting it ride. You definitely don't want us to interrupt the absolute circus that is the Big Ben Maller show. And if you're listening at 4 a.m., you got Marcel, you got all these guys that are calling in. So it's an absolute wild ride. So we're good. Otherwise, I'd say at that point, Billy, you might as well just give me the 1 to 5, the 1 o'clock to 5. Like you might as well just give us all the way. Like let us go all the way on the overnights.
Overnights is a time.
Yeah,
it is a fun time. Me and the franchise did one overnight show, including my friend Ryan Horvat.
Yeah, for
who
sure.
was a part of that one.
What up, Horvat? Shout
and,
out. I see you out there.
And our guy Griffin Eidelman, who was our intern at the time.
You did the Les Grobstein shift. Rest in peace.
We went. Oh man, Grobber.
The best.
We thought we were going to be slick and do the post game show for a Dodgers Brewers West Coast game, and then we would just hold on till the morning show.
Why not?
Pre-pitch clock, game ended in 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Wow.
So we did, I think, 7 hours. And that was the time. It was maybe the worst I've driven on the way home. That's Armen Sarian, and I'm Billy Schmidt. Hour 2 leads off with Hunter B. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, next.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers got blanked on Tuesday against the Mets. They didn't let that happen again on Wednesday, though.
1-1. Yelich, center field. That is way back there. Ewing on the run, and he cannot get it. Takes a huge bounce. In to score Ortiz. Yelich on his way to third, and he's in there. An RBI triple.
Ryan Anderson on the call on Brewers TV. The Crew beats the Mets 4-3 in a close one. Joey Ortiz went 3 for 3. Logan Henderson got the win. He went 5 strong. The Brewers off today. They'll open up a 3-game weekend series against the Rockies on Friday. Also from the Central on Wednesday, it was the Tigers over the Cubs 5-1 at Wrigley. Milwaukee's lead in the division is back up to 7 games. And Todd Clark is retiring as the WIAA's communications director after 26 years. A search for his successor is currently underway. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the ball down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after you and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
On the air, on your app, on YouTube, X, and Facebook. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. I'm Billy Schmid. That is Armen Sarian. On the other side, you can join us on those beautiful chats on YouTube, Facebook. X is hopping as well this morning. And on the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line, it's 877-794-1973. We'll welcome our friend Scott Dolphin into the conversation coming up in about 25 minutes from right now.
For the last time this week as well, right?
Just going to say,
You're gonna
yes,
say
for the
it?
last.
Okay.
No, I don't mean to.
No, I know.
But it was, yes, it was going to be our last time this week. Dolph is going international.
How about that, huh? I'm going to hear all about this trip.
And a lot of times Dolph goes down south of the border.
Right.
Instead, he is going to go north of the border, far north of the
He's
border.
going to go up north.
As
yeah.
he rolls, and not just up north to, Swamico or Krivitz. Instead, he is rolling to Iceland. And
How
we're
about
going to
that?
hear a little bit about that jet-setting trip for our friend Scott Dolphin coming up with FM 106.1.
It sounds like it's going to be awesome, so I can't wait to talk to him. It sounds like, yeah, and that's a beautiful country from what I've seen and heard. Now, they had a little bit of juice, what was it, last World Cup cycle when they were a World Cup team and they had a small population, but they got it going with the with the clap that the Vikings fans stole.
So
What's it
it
called,
was
the
the
skull?
Iceland team that brought the skull chant that Minnesota adopted. I had thought it had been the Norwegian soccer team.
Right.
So I
think
was
it's
off
Iceland.
on that one.
Because they row in Norway,
Right.
That's
why I did when they started doing the row. You easily could put two and two together. Vikings fans are going to be doing that this year. That is quickly going to get adopted by the people in purple. And they're going to be trying to act like that was their thing the entire time.
Oh, yeah. They'll steal anything they can to get any sort of excitement going for their franchise. It's just totally whatever they can do to cheapen their product, they'll do. That's what they do. I mean, that's what they do. But anyway, can't wait to talk to Dolph next segment here.
Definitely can't wait. Definitely can't wait to be hanging out and talking with our friend Craig in North Idaho, who hit us in. Fellas, I'm in the 3 a.m. club out here in Idaho.
Craig is a G, man. He listens to us so early, man.
That is incredible, impressive stuff. Craig, we love you. And he did say, I do wish the Brewers had a few heavy bats but pitching and defense will do. Now, the heavy bat might be like what our friend Tim on the comment section is saying, where it was package Joey Ortiz, the Diamondbacks, for Nolan Arenado. Arenado was one of the maybe few names that was somewhat intriguing and or hot a couple of weeks ago on the market. Tough thing is the Diamondbacks have done very similar to what the Detroit Tigers have done, which is start to play competent July baseball and put themselves in a position where it's going to be difficult, I think, for them to fully sell. And when you look at the lead up to the deadline, we're going to hear Hunter in 1 second, but you do have to start and you have to try to assess. We listen to it and we know so much more about, get into a bubble a little bit in fandom, a sports fan bubble.
Absolutely.
You watch so much more of this team. You watch them every night. That's why our team is the worst with runners in scoring position. Actually, stats would say one of the tops, right? But you don't necessarily look on the other side of the box score. Brewers were 3 of 11 with runners in scoring position yesterday.
Yeah, that's a great perspective.
That's where 1 of 8.
You get in your own world, in your own bubble, and you think it's all.
And it's not a bad thing. All sports fans do. That's why you are a fan of that team. A fan of this team, we know how the owner kind of maneuvers and operates, and what kind of impact that can have on the decision makers. I think with this one, when you start trying to put yourself into another organization's thought process and how they move and maneuver these kinds of things, like Detroit's always trying to win, especially when they have one of, if not their greatest, one of the best that they've had in the last 30 years, because Justin Verlander is going to go into the Hall of Fame and he's also on that roster. But one of the best pitchers you could have in an organization for one more year. A lot easier for us to say move them, but you also aren't in that building and you don't have the internal pressure that might or might not be coming from up top. Similarly to the LA Angels a couple of years ago with Shohei Ohtani, people were blasting the GM for not making the move. Well, it was already Moreno, the owner. He wasn't moving off of him. So like knowing the internal battles and struggles that are going on, somewhat, almost like politics in a building that way, you can kind of forget certain things. Arizona, their ownership group, for whatever you think of Arizona baseball, their fan base is pretty dang solid. They got a lot of people there and a lot of people still do go to the games, and their owner desperately wants to win. Like their owner is always trying to push chips into the table to the point where they'll trade. They had Jordan Montgomery on the roster. You remember Jordan Montgomery's stint with the Brewers?
Vaguely.
He was on the team.
Vaguely. Yeah.
You know why? Because the owner in Arizona paid him a bunch of money in the offseason and then said, you know what? I don't want to look at this guy anymore. Send Shelby Miller and him out of here.
Sure.
You can give a healthy pitcher, but you got to take the guy that I don't want here anymore. Because I just can't fathom it.
I care a lot.
I care a lot. And I want to make moves that are either that I believe are going to at some point help. And he's going to put some pressure down. I don't think Arizona's trading Arenado because I think they're going to try to push for one of these wild card spots. And, maybe rightfully so, as they sit right now in the last spot. And they're trying to hold on against the Cardinals and Pirates. And they've put themselves into the position because they've played really well as of late. They've won 8 of 10. They've forced probably their hand into maybe buying a little bit more than selling. So Arenado, again, was like maybe the only guy that makes some sense into that position, that being before the Joey Ortiz offensive explosion. And I still think with the offensive explosion, I would be down for Nolan Arenado if it was like Nolan Arenado for Brock Wilken.
Yeah.
Right. Former first round pick.
Right.
Seems to be hitting well down at Nashville, probably a pro ready-ish bat. Because not everybody can play, right? So, like, those are going to be the tough decisions, and I don't know how our prospect huggers would like me just throwing, certain names out there, but there are going to be a lot of names that you realize and recognize because the Brewers have a lot of prospects that people do recognize.
You'd like to have Nolan Arenado on your team, but I'm sure the Diamondbacks would too, and a lot of other teams. That's the tough part of this. And I mentioned it yesterday. I think it's true. They also have an owner that wants to win, but also an owner that's experienced winning to a pretty high level now recently with a team that wasn't thought of to be all that great in the regular season. I think that's
fair. Yeah.
So you make that run to the World Series with an 84-win team. You're like, well, I can do it again. We're right there. Let's do it again. I'm not going to give up. Why should I give up? It worked for me a few years ago. I'm not just going to give up. And right now, as you said, Billy, playoffs start today, they'd be in.
Well, and, process, sometimes you can get clouded with the victories that you get. We talk about it as to what victory probably means more in the social capital department, know, for the fan base. Sweep the Dodgers on the road, and fans are going to get excited.
Different.
You know who else is going to get excited? The owner.
Absolutely.
The owner that doesn't like LA and wants you to desperately beat that team. You go in, beat them going into the All-Star break. I assume there were some probably good vibes rolling through that organization at that exact moment. 877-794-1973. Wisconsin sports fan. They should have moved Joey Ortiz to third base last year. Maybe. Was that as hot of a conversation a year ago, Armen?
No, I don't think so. I think the idea was if Joey can play third and he can play short, a good shortstop, the bat shouldn't like there's no, like I said in the first hour, I don't think there's any sort of logic that follows the fact that your bat should change no matter where your position is. So I think often in baseball, we do it the opposite way. We like a bat. We try and find a position for, Jake Powers is a good example. You just put him somewhere so he can swing. But it's sort of like with Joey Ortiz, it was like, is he good enough? Can he play a good defensive shortstop? The bat is what it is. So I don't remember that happening a lot last year, but maybe they should have. Yeah. I thought about, I kept referencing the fact that he was better hitting third baseman. Now, there wasn't a huge sample size of evidence to suggest that he was going to be necessarily better or worse at one than the other, but it was just something interesting that I paid attention to. But I'm like, well, he was a different hitter when he was at third. But, the Brewers had all these, Arias was involved a couple of years ago. Brewers had different ideas of who might be next in the future and this and that. And Terang was going to move to short. That was a thought for a while.
Oh, that's fair.
So
that was last year in spring training where the thought was that Bryce Terang was going to be the shortstop. And then
his arm sore.
Dead arm towards the end of the year. And then it was just completely gone.
There was something there we don't know about. Obviously he didn't want to go or someone didn't, which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with him and his 5-6 WAR at second base every year.
Yeah, that'll play.
That'll
be okay.
Just keep it there. Don't mess with that.
You know what I am even more okay with is being able to, and more excited about than anything, is the opportunity to know that Hunter Baumgardt has a conversation and a recap of the Brewers series against the New York Mets that we have now stalled for about 20 minutes, potentially being able to deliver to our great listeners across 1070 AM in Madison, 920 AM in Milwaukee, the booming iHeartRadio app, as well as our streaming devices. You get to, here's a treat. This is why you got to get on the video stream. You get to see Hunter Baumgart's reaction and recap of Brewers and Mets right now on the Huddle.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get another series victory yesterday, their 22nd of the season, a 4-3 win over the Mets. Joey Ortiz was the man, a home run away from the cycle, on base all 4 times he came to the plate. Brewers manager Pat Murphy talked about the confidence he's seeing from Joey right now.
Yeah, I really believe, and we all say this all the time, you talk about confidence, like when a guy starts to believe, he's just in a good, free space, you know what I mean? He's just like, hey, whatever they got, whatever they're going to deal me, whatever cards, I'm good. Just let's go play and have fun. And I'm just really happy for the person, you know what I mean? I'm just really happy for him.
And then we talked to the man who closed out the game. Trevor McGill earned his 16th save of the season. He's been really good lately. He actually gave up his first run since June 5th, but still was able to hold on to the save yesterday. He talked about how he loves having Joey Ortiz at third base, especially when he makes a diving play to end the game.
Just throw the ball and I turn around and Joey's tackling it, and I was pretty fired up. So I love third base Joey. I'm telling him that for a while now.
Why do you think third base Joey is playing the way he is?
I don't know. Maybe there's just good juju over at third. I don't know. He looks great over there, though, huh?
And now let's hear from the man himself. Joey Ortiz talks about the mentality he has right now, given what's happened over the last month or so.
My view is I'm on the team for a reason, and wherever they need to put me, I'm gladly ready to play anywhere they need me. And like I said, the focus isn't on numbers or anything like that. It's about winning ball games and helping the team. So as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy with it.
Brewers are off today before they start a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies coming up tomorrow. It's an afternoon game, 3:10 first pitch. The Legends game will occur afterwards. I'll have you for Milwaukee baseball tonight from 6 to 7 on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and our social channels. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Talk to you more about the crew at 7:25. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunters. Sweet backdrop there yesterday. Looking good there on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, black.
I was going to say, I almost lost them there for a second. That was phenomenal. One of my favorite treats of the Hunter Baumgardt recaps is figuring out where and how he chooses the backdrop.
I like that. I like that. Also, did he get some new shirts? Because I've been looking at his wardrobe because it's always like we see him on camera every day.
Sure.
Like, I haven't seen that shirt before. I like that.
Now I've seen you rock those that little combination of Iron Jock before.
Well, yeah,
the beautiful performance hoodie as well as the polo. Now I see Armen Saryan in a collar on a Thursday.
A little preppy for me. Yeah.
Does that mean we're going over to the business side? We going over to Thailand today, or are you going over to the political station here?
No, I'm not doing either. Actually, okay. It's
trying to class it up on a Thursday. I like that.
Not much thought process, Billy, when it's that early and you're getting dressed. We're looking for an Iron Jock because it's comfortable, obviously, and it's a wonderful piece of and it's of clothing, and it's there. And I was like, I grab the blue one, and then I realized, oh, okay, it's because we've been used to hot weather in July.
Sure.
It's been really steamy.
Looked and realized it was 53.
Last couple of days, it's been 50. What was it, 58 or 55? I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna need more than this. So I go back in there and then get the blue Iron Jock hoodie. So that's kind of my thought process. Although I'll be honest with you, with the collar, I look a little preppy with this.
I look very Marquette.
Oh, well, I guess that's me. I guess I should.
Yeah. I think you look good. I think you look sweet. I just didn't know if you were going over to deliver any
business lunch or something like that.
No, I just didn't know if they were having Armen Saryan in for like a burner discussion on the different stations. 877-794-1973.
Every now and then you might hear that. Every now and then. Why not?
Well, if anybody's gonna be able to give people a lay of the land on social media, it might be you.
There is something to be said though for you see we're in radio and obviously in the morning too. So you see a guy all of a sudden with a polo shirt on and a collar, and you're like, "What are you doing today? What
why are you doing this?
You
got to show us all up?
You going to Thailand? You gonna try and go find some food over there or what? Like what's happening?"
Because that's generally why you're going over to the business side. Let's be honest.
What do you have your annual? You have your annual
performance review. They do that here?
Exactly.
John and Fondy. Hoping for a change in mindset. The Brewers front office has built the dark system for bites of the apple, and it's been great. For years, it's been great.
Why do you want to change your mindset?
They got that taste of success partially last year, getting to the NLCS. Use that embarrassment of riches. Go get a starter and a reliever, preferably high-end starter, and good luck against a healthy Harrison, if he gets there, and a non-limited Miz into the playoffs, and fill in your favorite guy you can go get as a starter to go win 12 games. I'm not worried about Armen's undaunted positivity. Don't worry, I'll keep texting.
Thanks,
now,
John, we love you, buddy.
We just want you to know we're in your camp.
We're in
like
it. I mean, yes.
As much as, and I do think, Armen, people have put you into the camp of somewhat prospect hugger. I don't think that's exactly where you go. You're in the Dave Ramsey spot of looking at prospects.
No, if
you want to make sure that you're not getting ripped off and that you're getting a good value, into one of these deals. You don't want to just be walking up day up on Christmas Eve paying top dollar when next day this thing is going to be half off.
This is all about market efficiency, right? If we have value, I'm all for it. And there is something to be said for we can get a really good player right now that's a known quantity, because prospects are still unknown quantities.
Very unknown. Very unknown.
Everybody's an unknown quantity day to day. I should say that. Like, there's no guarantee of performance. Eugenio Suarez struggled second half last year, but then he had a good playoff game. So, okay, but more of a known quantity during a baseball season, you trade for somebody. I guess I bristled a little bit when he said change in mindset. I don't necessarily need a whole different change in mindset. The organization's doing great right now. The mindset's what's gotten us successful, consistent winning.
Yeah.
But maybe in this moment, he's saying, let's spend a little bit on this vacation. We've saved enough. Let's spend a little bit here to make this one. Okay. I can see that.
I think you're spot on there. This isn't the process has worked to a point, right? To an extent, they have done something that a lot of people, even some of the hardest of hardcore Brewers supporters and fans and, viewers over the last number of years, even if you're not necessarily you don't have the fan hat like our friend Drew Olson does. He's a fan of sport, understanding competition, understanding the game. There's something to being a fan of how somebody is doing business when it is clearly working to a level, but it hasn't won to the championship level. Now, is it because they didn't get a Eugenio Suarez that Shohei Ohtani hit 3 bombs and struck out 10 Brewers in Game 4 of the NLCS last year? No.
Right. And that's just the reality.
If Eugenio Suarez was on the team, does Blake Snell still shove for 8 1-run innings in Game 2? Probably, right? Like as bad as it sounds, probably. I don't know that is going to get fully corrected, but you do give yourself and feel like you have a lot better puncher's chance. And giving yourself more than a puncher's chance is, I think, the idea and the thought in a shift of mindset, not a full change. No one's saying a full reset in mindset and perspective here for the Brewers, but just a little aggressiveness. And I do wonder if, I know Drew's kind of poo-pooed this, and I think we've heard a lot more people around baseball talking about it and making it known that, like, some people are thinking about it more than just it's in the conversation. Organizations are going to be looking at this deadline in a different mindset, knowing what is potentially on the horizon in 2027. The unknown is going to factor in somehow, some way into how all 30 teams operate.
Yeah.
Coming up to this deadline on August 3rd. Like, you can't,
point,
you just, there's too much money invested and too much money involved in all of these different teams for that to not factor into somewhat of the thought process and how you're going to either dole out contracts to young players. We've seen so many more minor league deals getting given out. Maybe teams realizing they have to hit a certain threshold of spending, but it's going to impact it. We'll see if they're able to take advantage of it. 877-794-1973.
Hey, Aaron and Fondy on the NickLayLaw.com talking text line. Shout out John and Fondy. What's up, buddy? I don't know if they know each other or they're going to get to know each other, but we got a Fond du Lac connection on the text line. So John and Aaron and Fondy, go hang out at Slim and Chubby's.
Whoa, not Cruising Chubby's.
No, a different spot.
That is a different spot.
No, I knew some of the bars in Fond du Lac. I had a friend that go to college there. I don't know if it's still around. Is Slim and Chubby's still there? I have no idea if it's still there, but if it is, and Schmitty's, I think.
Schmitty's a good time.
Maybe you guys will meet for a beer because of this text
Now,
line.
are you going to guess that Slim is probably what, 6'6", 310 pounds?
That's always how it happens. It's like Tiny the bouncer. It's like a big monster guy, you know.
Chubbs is probably 5'6", a $165 soaking wet.
Yep.
877-794-1973. Our friend Scott Dolphin joins the conversation one more time for the week as he rolls into a week and a half long excursion, a little over a week long excursion up to Iceland.
Work trip.
It is a work trip.
Yeah.
He's going to be working. He's going to fill us in on all that work that he's about to be doing. No fun to be had with our friend Scott Dolphin, but it's always fun when Dolph joins us. Coming up on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. I couldn't tell for sure if we were back or not because my man Armen had that song running for the last 5 minutes in here, just enjoying a ton of Dirks.
That was a mistake.
Just trying to get drunk on a plane.
Well,
I think we're all excited if that's what we're trying to do.
I was trying to time it out to the right spot, because I had this whole idea for Dolph when he comes in to play it. So
perfect, man.
Because he's going on a plane, obviously for your trip.
Yeah,
I thought he was driving there.
And then I started scrambling around because I was trying to see if my phone was not working. It's a long story. That's a long story, but
I think it's me. It's not you. It's me, Armen. I don't know what is up with. I don't know how I muted you or whatever, or blacklisted you. I don't know, but we'll get it.
It sounds like you got blocked.
You blocked me when you saw that I was a crypto king. It's okay.
That's what it was.
Dolph, I did the same thing. I unfollowed the account. I did everything I could to try to distance myself from this guy at that moment because I didn't want to be next. I mean, our friend Pipe Bomb even got hacked in the midst of it.
Man,
but Pipe got his account back somehow. So he's better than me at this. I
think some of it was they realized, why did we hack this guy's account? The nicest guy in the world. He's so indifferent on the situation. Wait, actually take it back. Then we can take it again.
It also happened to Sims. Aaron Sims, our great admiral's voice. So I don't know. You got to keep an eye out there. It's okay. I'm back on Twitter, as you guys know. We mentioned it at Armen. Sorry, and same account or same handle.
I have appreciated people apologizing for your lack of crypto success.
A lot of people believe that might be true, which I really appreciated. That you guys thought I was smart enough to maybe make enough money to buy Rolexes and stuff like that.
And when you showed that wad of hundreds, that's what sold me.
Oh,
that's
they
true.
Dropped that the picture of the cash. That was wild. And the Maybach and everything like that.
Now, I've ventured to think that the getting hacked online, some understandably so, when it happens to you, you immediately think it's the world is ending. It's the worst thing that possibly could happen. I think it's a great test of your friends.
Absolutely.
It's a great test of who are your real friends, because then you have some like me, Dolph, that immediately say, Armen, why did you not put me on game? Why did you not put me on this crypto game?
Just bitter.
Then you have the friends that genuinely ask, hey man, how did you do that? Would there be a way? There's a good intelligence test you're able to do with a lot of your friends.
You'd be surprised.
Right when that happens.
People that knew me well, that saw me every day, old coworkers of ours, were really wondering for a second, hey, maybe. I'm like, come on, guys. But Bill, you said it right. It becomes a scary thing at first. It feels like the end of the world. And then you slowly realize it's not. You're liberated in a way. Then you're like, I'm not beholden to the social media now. It's kind of nice for a while. And then you gain the perspective, I hope, that this stuff is really, in the end, not that important. All right. And that's what I've realized.
That's the perspective you're hoping that you got here.
I appreciate getting that perspective whenever it comes. I appreciate that perspective because you know what? It humbles you a bit, and you realize your identity was social media in some ways, which it shouldn't have been.
You work hard to build up those followers, man. What'd you have? How many? You had thousands, right?
I was close to 10,000.
Yeah.
And I've been on here for 50. I'm like, that part stinks. I mean, you're like, you know what? That's just ego driven, Armen. It doesn't matter. So that's why I'm more.
Like Rich Paul said, we all have ego. We all have to have.
Sure.
Ego. We all have to have some ego.
No doubt about it. Well, one of the advantages of being a little bit older than you guys, just a little, is social media was never a thing in my brain. So it's not that important to me. I also have the advantage of being on a show with a pretty good social media following and on a station with a good. So I have that if I need to reach out to, I can use our accounts on our show and on our radio station. But I only have Twitter. Now, Shanna, my boss, always kids me that I have several burner accounts, which may or may not be true on Instagram and TikTok. Mm-hmm. But I only have Twitter, X.
A lot of people have burner accounts these days.
Yeah, there's some good dirt on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There could be some good dirt on there. Now, I do wonder, you also have a weapon, though. Like, you also do have a secret weapon. Shannon is phenomenal on social media.
Really good.
Oh, she is phenomenal on TikTok.
So she can put you on game.
Whenever, she puts us on social media game most of the time. Whenever we get included on the TikTok, we realize that it's going to be next level. My wife said, Scott and Shannon have a really good TikTok.
Yeah, Shannon has a really good TikTok. Scott, I will groan and growl when she said, hey, we need to do a TikTok. And then, a day later, my wife and everybody that I know is commenting, love that TikTok.
And you're the star of it. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. She does a great job of, even if you are begrudgingly walking in there, to making the man look like a superstar.
You guys have been involved before. We've done group things where we've had to lip sync. And
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It is. We get a little firsthand glimpse of it in the peek behind the curtain of how it's made.
Right.
There used to be a show called How It's Made. One of my favorites. One of my just to be able to see how the sausage is made. Sometimes they made ice cream sandwiches. People think that this is a very easy deal. It's not always easy, especially when you're utilizing awful talent like myself and Armen. And when that very uncoachable talent like myself, that's when it gets tougher to be able to go to.
Poor Shannon. Every time we do one of those things with her, she has like her work cut out for her editing my response because it's never like good, easy. Like it's never, she's like, give me one thing. And I'm like, oh, let me talk for a minute.
That's
and
true.
I'm like, sorry about that.
I've seen you in action with that before.
But it is funny. Like you realize like, you know, this stuff is fun. It's good to use in what we do. But in the end, like I was really going to mourn the loss of my Twitter account. Like how pathetic is that? You go outside and take a walk and you realize that's really kind of silly.
It's not pathetic. It shows how much you care about the relationships you have with the listeners.
I do, and that was the thing I missed. I missed the most. It's always fun to be able to talk sports when I want. Like, you know, I want to talk sports. I'm going to tweet something out and see who wants to talk about it. Like that was fun for me to connect in that way. But there's a lot of things that are more important, like Scott's upcoming trip to Iceland.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think that's more important.
Are you kidding me? This is going to be memories are going to be made on this trip.
I was just going to say, now all of the conversation about social media, this would be one where people would be excited to be able to get a little peek into what you guys are doing. Now, this is a trip you're going on with a number of listeners, correct?
Yeah, we've got about 50 people total.
That's phenomenal.
My wife and I are going, and this is cool for her because she never gets to attend or rarely gets to attend our Boots on the Beach winter trips that we do because she's an educator
in school. Yes.
So we're doing the red eye overnight tonight to Iceland. We've got a bunch of
awesome
fun listeners with us, and it's a cruise. So it's really the only way to see all of Iceland because you're going all the way around the country, the island country, and then back to Reykjavik, which is the capital.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying a lamb hot dog. Apparently, that's a big thing.
A lamb hot dog?
Yeah,
okay.
their hot dogs are made of lamb.
Better than whatever ours could be made out of.
You never know. Maybe ours are made out of lamb too.
Depends
Who knows?
But yeah, no, it'll probably be good. I mean, that's gonna be delicious, I think. Yeah.
So I got looking at Iceland last week, because I haven't really researched the trip. I wanted to see if they have a world, if they were in the World Cup. They were not this year.
Sure.
But they were in 2018. They actually made the World Cup in 2018.
It was 2 cycles ago. Yeah, they were a big story. They were a big story.
Sure. It's a city, or it's a country that's population is about half the size of the city of Milwaukee. It's like 300,000.
So they have land space, but it's mostly on the coast, right?
It is.
That's what there was. I remember a lot of people were talking about Iceland, and it's the inland stuff. You don't really. That's going to be beautiful, though. Get your camera ready.
Big time. Yeah.
Space.
Looking forward to seeing the volcanoes and the waterfalls and the fjords. And
do they have hot springs and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. In fact, tomorrow we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to a place called the Blue Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
Look that up, which is supposed to be healing waters and geothermal springs and all that stuff. So that's going to be our first taste of Iceland.
It's pronounced fjords.
Fjords.
You were today years old.
Were you for Fjords?
Because I've read this term in the countless number of Frozen books that we have in the house.
Yeah.
And I have now just said the beach. Like I've completely changed it because my kid would just pronounce. He goes, I don't think that's how it's pronounced, Daddy. Forgs. I've said forge a couple of different times. Okay, there we go. Long, narrow, deep sea inlets with steep rock cliffs. There's some insane
there's a lot of ways to say
visuals here on this of what the inland weaves will look like there.
I always want to go to Norway. That's a bucket lister too, because they're like the king of fjords. And then, those what do you call them? Scandinavian countries, which I don't know if Iceland is considered one of those, but I know it was one of the birthplaces of the Vikings and all that stuff.
Right.
Back in the day, because it's like Greenland, and then it's Iceland, and then it's Europe. Then it's like 400 or 500 miles to Ireland and Scotland in that area.
That is so cool.
It's gonna be awesome, man.
You are are you a cruise goer? Have you been on a number of cruises?
Only 2 in my life. They were both FM 106 trips.
That works out well.
And I enjoy cruises. It's just not, if we go on regular vacations, we usually like hitting a beach for 7 days. Or go someplace where we can hike and stuff like that. But it's been we did Alaska probably 15 years ago. So it's been a while since I've taken a cruise.
I would think this would be a similar kind of vibe to that, because people love the Alaska cruises as well.
Yeah. And like Alaska, Iceland is the land of the midnight sun, 22 hours of daylight there right now.
Oh, it's going to be super bright.
And
That's
I don't think
so
it ever
interesting.
gets dark. You get that dusk-looking, twilight-looking
We
landscape.
went to Alaska. My aunt lived there, and I think just moved out of Alaska now, back over all full-time to Tucson. But she lived there for 30-some years. So we went there when I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And we went in August, and that was the most difficult thing, is realizing that it is never getting dark.
No.
And when you're a 9-year-old, that means there's no bedtime. My parents had to have despised that trip because I think I was awake pretty much the entire time. I don't know how much of it I slept at all because it just felt like, wait, it's sun. We should go be doing something here. There's no reason to be napping inside. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I was there as an adult with younger kids, and I remember walking around with them and thinking, wow, it's almost sundown, and it was like 11:30 p.m. I'm like, oh my God, we got to get to bed.
I get these kids to bed. No wonder you're screaming at me the whole time.
Thank God for blackout blinds.
That's
drapes.
true. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited for your fjord escape.
Appreciate it, buddy. I'll send pictures. Yeah, it should be a good time. Looking forward to seeing a place I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a newbie when it comes to Europe. I've only been to Ireland, and that was 2 years ago. And we had an incredible time in Ireland. I want to go back there just with the family.
So it's a red-eye flight from.
It's an all-nighter from O'Hare.
From O'Hare, got it.
Yeah,
we'll track that during the show tomorrow.
Yeah,
buddy.
do it. Yeah,
because they'll still be there.
I think we'll be on the ground. I think by the time you guys start tomorrow morning.
Cool. Now, do they have wildlife there? Are there any fjord mustangs or?
I don't know. I know they have puffins.
Oh,
the Arctic birds are there,
Trying.
and then they've got a lot of sea life, Armen. But
Yeah.
as far as on land, I don't exactly know what they have in Iceland.
Yeah,
I know they've got a lot of dolphins and whales and stuff like that. We're going to go whale watching. Well,
that will be sweet.
Yeah, temperatures are going to be like around 40 when we're whale watching.
So how many jackets are we bringing?
Well, you have to bring layers because
Yeah.
not only is it cold, but you're going to get wet in a lot of these
for
places.
sure.
Yeah.
Waterfalls and on the sea. So I think we're doing 4 layers. I've never packed like this before. The suitcase is at capacity, so I have to decide what to take.
Have you had to give it a check?
Twice last night.
Whoa.
My wife's is obviously way over. I mean, they give you 50 pounds, and she was at 57 or 8. So
Laura's
now we're doing
always
the
at
transfer to my
49 and a
bag.
half. Laura's always right
Yeah.
on the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done this? Have you ever had to change out at the counter while they're waiting for you, and you're taking
sure.
stuff out of her bag and putting it in yours? Yeah, we've
Stuffing
done that
it in
too.
yours,
Yeah.
throwing some into the
Oh,
carry-on
that's
as much
embarrassing.
as you possibly can get into your backpack.
Oh yeah, that's always embarrassing. Yeah.
How am I going to get my trail mix now? I got 18 shirts on, and here I can't even reach down to my iPad.
And it's a hefty fine if you don't get it under 50.
Oh sure, they
They
can
stick
still
it to
fly
you.
it. They just want to charge you.
Right.
You know how that goes, right? Yeah. You like this move? You like this move where you put it on slower, like you think you're going to trick the scale?
Oh, you
put it-
all the time. Yes. See, now if I just casually,
just like let it softly
Yeah.
go. You're trying to put your foot under there.
We
Try and
finally
pick up the weight.
trying to like almost hold it up a little bit. Just like, sir, can you please take your hand off that? Oh no, I'm just
That's
making
a
sure it's
great
steady.
idea. Put your foot up there. We finally broke down and got one of those luggage scales. For years, it was just me picking it up and getting on the bathroom scale and then setting it down.
Oh, I love that.
In my weight.
That's sort of like that's a good way to utilize the materials you have around you.
It
It's
worked.
sort of like my dad going to the grocery store to use the produce scale to test his scale at home for like the things he weighs.
I love that.
Because he has this because he's a coin collector. He's a small, so he tests it. He's like, sometimes I go weigh stuff at the grocery.
He would put
I'm
his
like-
coins in the
I'm like,
grocery
Dad, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to weigh stuff where someone's asparagus is. That's a Leon move, by the way. Yeah.
Checking it out, utilizing what's available to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you got to use what's available. I
I
like
love
that
that.
move, the scale at home. But now you have one. Yeah, Laura does too, because she's always right at the line at 50 pounds. So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. I'll let you boys know how it is. I'll be
Enjoy
sending photos to Shannon, and she'll be putting them up on our socials.
Good, because we want to be able to see some photos. We want you to enjoy the absolute heck out of the trip and enjoy the base because you guys have such a loyal following. Now, Shannon went to Hawaii.
She was in Hawaii last year. Yeah, the amazing thing is travel leaders who you guys work with for years as well. They with the success of our winter trip, they started this summer thing.
Yes.
4 or 5 years ago, and now we get to go to these incredible places during the summer, and I was lucky. I mean, Iceland and Ireland both bucket lists for me, and so can't complain at all.
No,
it's a pretty cool job that we have.
I was going to say it's an incredible opportunity, but it's because of what you guys have done that people want to go on these excursions with you guys, and it is going to be phenomenal. So enjoy every bit of it.
Thanks, man.
Enjoy the red eye, and hopefully you can. Are you supposed to sleep on the red eye plane, or is that the one that you're not supposed to sleep on?
You're supposed to try to get some sleep on.
You want to,
and then you have to stay up all day. Yeah,
stay up.
because if not, the jet lag gets you. So yeah, we'll land at 8:30 local time tomorrow morning. They're going to put us right on a 4-hour tour, and then we're going to check into our hotel, and then we're going right to this Blue Lagoon I told you about. And so we probably won't hit the sack until 8:30. So
that sounds like a bar to me. I'm sorry. Every time I hear Blue Lagoon,
Blue Lagoon does sound like it's on a lake in Minocqua that you're stopping at.
It sounds like they got one of those big fish bowls for for
$30 with 4 straws.
If you're old enough, you remember the Brooke Shields movie from the 1980s called Blue Lagoon, where she was just a teen, and they were stranded on a deserted island. And
Brooke Shields taught a lot of things to a lot of folks.
Yes, she did. Yeah, highly underrated actress.
Yeah, that's probably true because people probably just saw her and saw her beauty, right?
Right, yeah, because she was probably a model first and foremost.
I think so. And then she was married to Andre Agassi.
She was.
Yeah,
she was. I met her one time, got a picture, and she was delightful.
Now she is no longer married to the pickleball legend Andre Agassi.
Oh, Andre and Steffi have been married for a long time.
That's right, Steffi Graf.
They have the tennis romance.
Totally knew
that. I don't expect you to know. It's okay.
Did you ever have a tennis romance in high school?
No. No, I mean, I had some crushes on girls that played tennis. They didn't have crushes on me. We called that a lot of girls. We called that the Fjord F-150. There was a lot of girls that were into me.
I had no. That's epic callback. Great work.
Thank you. No, they had no interest in me. Awesome. I had interest in them, but
and don't let Dolph think you didn't try. Once you got that crown on there for prom king, you thought
then
homecoming next year was going to be game over.
Everything's going to change, right?
Oh man, Dolph, enjoy it, safe travels, and have fun, brother.
Thanks, fellas.
You keep living in the memories back there. Take a quick time out. We'll be back after this with a hero of the day on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin here on your radio and on YouTube and X, as well as Facebook and Twitter. Facebook and X, not Twitter. X, people still dropping Twitter in there every once in a while? Are they calling it X Twitter, or is that now has Elon finally succeeded and people are just now referring to it as X?
No, I don't think he's succeeded to make it totally out of the culture or the lexicon to say Twitter. Like, I still say Twitter, so I'll usually say Twitter X. Mike used to get mad. Mike Heller used to get mad at us. He always would call it X because he's like, you got to be accurate.
It was legit with it. It was always hard on it. Yes.
Yeah, I don't. You call them facial tissues? I call them Kleenex. I don't care what brand.
That's true.
It is what it is. I mean, Twitter is Twitter. Now it's X, but I still can call it Twitter because if I want it to be, functional.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, I saw the one individual with a "It's always Miller Park." It will still be Miller Park T-shirt on. Yeah. There's a lot of folks that it'll always still be Miller Park too. Now there's some folks that then quickly jump into the comments section. Well, how about Miller ponied up for the money then?
No, here we go again.
They actually cared about the community. They would have given some money.
Listen, not saying you're wrong, but we're talking about what is the way to say it that's functionally accurate for people. Like, hey, I'm going to Sears Tower. We know it's not the Sears Tower, but people know what you're talking about.
Sure.
If I say X, people might be like, okay. But if I say Twitter, people know what you're talking about.
People do know exactly what you're talking about. That's fair.
Maybe you just say both. And that's what I try and do to cover all my bases.
I also still think they should have just kept tweets because it just sounded better than a post, an X post.
Of course it does.
Nearly as fun.
I wouldn't have messed with it. It's like if you buy a famous restaurant really quick, sorry,
go ahead.
like Jim's Bar, but you're not Jim. You're going to keep Jim's Bar.
Yeah, you're not all of a sudden making it Tony's Place unless you want it to go out of business.
Some people do, but personally, I think, it matters, the branding. So.
Now, the branding on our superhero of the day is presented by Current Electric. Callcurrent.com is the way to have the superheroes from Current Electric come to your home and help you out. Maybe it's a whole home generator that you're looking at, or maybe you're looking to put some cash back in your pocket as we're getting closer to the NFL season, getting into fall. Kids are going back to school, doing a lot of back to school shopping. Christmas shopping is going to be on the horizon as well. Holiday shopping, pardon me. But you most importantly want to have some cash in your pockets. One way to do that, put some money back in your pockets with solar panels that are up on top, because solar energy is the deal, and their custom solar panel systems can lower and sometimes even, Armen, eliminate your monthly electrical bill. Eliminate. That means take it away for good. So see if that money in your roof can be making some money for you. How much it might be, call current.com and they can give you an answer there, as the superheroes will give you a home assessment. Call current.com. Easy superhero of the day here. The weapon. It's Joey Ortiz.
Yeah.
Now, for a number of different reasons. One, because of the 3-hit game yesterday and being a home run away from the cycle. Maybe the biggest reason is for inspiring the fan base to boo a walk. Right? Like I thought the back end of that, Armen, when you mentioned they wanted to see if he was going to have a pop at this thing, to pop one out of here 378 feet and just sneak it over that left field wall. Enraged fan base yesterday late into the game. And I like when you get a little vigor there at that moment.
That was awesome. Reminds you of Rick Manning from '87 booing his game-winning RBI single because it stopped Paul Molitor's streak. So there's a callback reference for you.
That is an elite callback reference and deserves a superhero nod for our friend Armen. Sorry. And you are all heroes for being with us. We got one more to play. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. It's been a tough road to hoe for Brewers infielder Joey Ortiz. His offensive struggles have led him to losing his job at shortstop, only to then be needed at third base when David Hamilton got hurt. But in Wednesday's series finale against the Mets, it was the Joey Show.
Ortiz, fly ball to right, got some barrel on it, and it is going to be down in front of the wall. Mitchell scores. Vaughn lumbering his way to the plate. He will score. Joey O with a belly flop triple.
Brian Anderson on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee takes it over New York in the series finale at American Family Field 4-3. With an OPS in the 400s earlier in the season, Ortiz has climbed back to respectability. He now has an OPS of 662. Also from the Central, it was the Tigers over the Cubs 5-1. Milwaukee's lead in the division back up to 7. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 jet. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got Jackson, what we got to do? All right, that's all we got more down to. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now, and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
On August 26th against Cleveland, Molitor lost his chance to become the 5th player in history to hit in 40 straight games. In the 10th inning, he stood hitless on deck as Rick Manning won the game for the Brewers.
Line drive, base hit center field. Felder is going to score. The throw by Butler to the plate, not in time. The Brewers beat the Indians by a score of 1-0. And Paul Molitor to congratulate Rick Manning. The hitting streak is history. It's a bittersweet victory in a sense at the stadium. And now the crowd standing at County Stadium.
There you go, Bill.
That is how we start up hour number 3 of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin with the newly minted or soon to be minted. Do they do the Hall of Fame week or is that this upcoming weekend?
Great question. That's
One of these soon to be minted Hall of Famer Pat Hughes on the call, correct?
Yes, I believe that was.
That sounds like Pat in his early days with the Milwaukee Brewers in 1987. That is the 1987 highlight tape that you just grabbed that one from?
That's the reference I was making when Paul Molitor's hit streak was snapped. Rick Manning's winning RBI single for the Brewers prevented extra innings. And that's what it reminded me of last night when Joey Ortiz, the context, was a homer away from the cycle and got walked, and the crowd was booing him. Well, so I appreciate the fact that we still care about the cycle, Billy.
You
That's
have
the big
to.
thing, you know?
I think people always have and always will. It'll be one that'll be too hard to not care at least a little bit about and enjoy somewhat too. One thing to enjoy coming up now and coming up this week, because I believe it debuts tonight in certain theaters and select theaters right now, is the Ueck documentary.
Yeah.
Ueck the movie. Last night was a very special premiere showing the Ueck movie to members of the Uecker family, Brewers executives, broadcasters. Jeff Levering, Leighton Grindle, and Josh Mauer were there. Community leaders were there. I saw the mayor there watching and enjoying it as well. Awesome. A lot, as our friend Mark Cass of the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame said, there was a lot of laughter, cheering, and more than a few tears. Jeff Levering commented on it. Ueck is a must-see. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll appreciate how much Ueck loved being the sound of Wisconsin summer and everything he did to do it as long as he did. Check it out at a theater near you. You'll be glad you did. And I'll tell you right now, I am very excited to go see this production because there's too many people that were around during the time of its taping, Armen, and the collecting of content for the movie and for the feature that have said, like, I don't know you fully understand all of what you're going to get here and how much of the behind the scenes you do actually get to see. And it's out here tonight at select theaters, as well as it'll be running coming up Hall next week. And then as much as it continues to draw, it'll continue to, I would believe, stay in different Marcus theaters coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And I can't wait for my chance to see it whenever that is. And obviously nobody was closer to the situation and reality than Lev was, working with Ueck and things like that. So I can only imagine how special it must be for him to rewatch or to see a lot of that he actually experienced, obviously, while it was happening, while they were filming. And the thing is about Bob, we'll never forget Bob Uecker, obviously, and he's always going to be part of the fabric of our community. And he left us. It seems like yesterday he left us, even though it was over a year ago, right? And it's hard to believe a little bit. And I also think, Billy, speaking of the documentary, I'm curious to see, because I think there's an aspect of Bob Uecker that he was so vulnerable and revealing every day in terms of you felt like he was living his life with you every day, right? You heard him every day. I mean, unless it was your own family, there's probably no one else you heard from multiple hours every day in the summer and so many days of your life than Bob Uecker. That's why we all felt so close to him. He felt like part of our lives. But I also feel like there's probably a layer of Bob that was still private that none of us knew, right? About how about his life and things like that he was just totally great, kept private or was part of it. And any glimpse you ever got to see past that other veil was like a very special thing, a very special moment. So maybe we'll see more of that as we go through here. One of my favorite Uecker videos or moments that was kind of frozen in time when it happened was obviously the fist pumping in the clubhouse celebration. Oh yeah, I beat my pants. But that's fun stuff that we all see. That's the fun stuff. Yeah. But then when he's out on the field after, and I'm gonna misremember the year, one of the clinches, and he has a interview with Sophia Minnaert, and he's like, Sophie, you're around it, you see it, and talked about the relationship and the being one of the guys, and he almost gets choked up and caught up in it because you can tell how much it meant to him and always has meant to being in the organization, but being in it with the guys that are in it every single day. And even as he obviously got, further and further removed from doing every single game and going out on every road trip, he always was still in that feeling, in that clubhouse, and that attitude towards the game that you were hearing him call, you could always feel, right? Like that there's no passion that you can, I think, truly fake to a real level of success. Yeah. And there was so much passion and excitement for everything good that happened in a Brewers uniform that I think, and personally truly believe, you can only have that with the real vested interest and not just the jersey and being around it for as long as he was, and obviously being a Milwaukee guy himself, but having a vested interest in the guy that's occupying it and playing, then broadcasting. He just had a different ability to be empathetic and sympathetic to what those guys were going through on a day in and day out basis. Because it was true to himself, and I think that's the point. And that it was real and authentic, and that was why we loved it. And that's why, he loved the camaraderie. He loved being part of that group. Always, he loved being around the guys, and he loved being at the ballpark, and that always shone through. MLB Network, I think once, or MLB.com, I can't remember what it was, did a little bit of special on him, like where this was years ago, where they went out on his boat to go fishing. We like to do that every now and then, I guess, is go fishing on Lake Michigan. And you had to imagine that for a guy like that who, loved the environment he was in, of course, but he was one of the most famous people ever in this state, in this city. He probably didn't have much privacy. He was always in a fishbowl in that sense, where he was always Bob, and no matter where he went, there was probably no chance to ever take a break from that. But probably I always thought that his moment was doing that, was being on the boat, right? Was going fishing where for a second he could be alone, which is probably not something he was ever able to do, So I always think about that when I think about what this documentary might show us and entail and give to us, because I think we've seen so much of Bob, listened so much of Bob, had so much Bob content, but we still can't ever get enough of everything. Everything is going to be a gift, a treasure to unwrap. So hopefully that's just going to be what it is when we see this documentary.
I've read Adam McCalvey. It's his pinned post. Sorry, not pinned tweet. Even though they still say pinned up at the top there at his X page at Adam McCalvey, Brewers.com writer and also host of the Brewers Unfiltered podcast.
Unfiltered.
It's unfiltered.
Unfiltered. You get that?
He did say on the TV call, every once in a while, maybe a little filtered. However,
at least he's honest
with it. But Adam does a great job, and I've read his piece about Bob's last game like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And I have not gotten through it without tearing up at some point.
Oh, sure.
And I'm very excited for the emotion that it'll bring, being able to see it. I'm excited for all those that saw it last night, and very excited for the folks that see it coming up this weekend. And like you mentioned, I think it might be next week after the show. Maybe next week, Monday, right after the show. I think there's a 10:30 viewing over there at the Ridge Cinema over there in New Berlin. Real close.
Yeah.
Might be the move there because that's nap time for the kids. Good chance for dad to get away and potentially sit up to make sure that I don't nap. That's the only problem with the movie theater seats. Too damn comfortable. It's now to the point. It's now to the point, Armen, where it's too comfortable.
It's like,
almost
boy, I could fall asleep.
egging you on to maybe close those eyes while you take a $15 nap. That being said, 877-794-1973. 15 minutes away from our friend Hunter Baumgardt joining us to discuss the Crew, who are in the hot category. They've won 5 of their last 6 coming
Just
out
rolling.
of the break. 5-1 so far on the homestand. Who's hot, who's not? Brought to you by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Over 40 years serving your community because they're here, they're employee owned, and they do work that they are proud of because they take pride in knowing that when that Donovan Jorgensen name is on the side of that big blue van that's pulling up to your complex to check out your heating and cooling systems, they know that it's theirs. Employee owned for over 40 years. Go to DonovanJorgensen.com for all of your heating and cooling needs. Now, Brewers obviously in the hot category. We've talked a lot about Joey Ortiz being in the hot category. We can put Christian Yelich in the little above lukewarm category. Is that fair?
He's simmering. He's simmering.
There's a little bit of a bubble going on there.
So.
It might be on like medium low heat.
Yeah.
However, any bit of Yelich that's warmer than not is going to be a positive for the Brewers lineup.
Totally.
They've had him at the top of it. He's not leaving the top of the lineup, especially when he's in. And I heard this earlier on this week, and I was talking about it with a couple of my friends as well, and we had a great text here from our friend Mike and Merrill discussing the DH spot. Is it time to move Yelich out of the DH role,
right,
instead of just a leadoff role?
And there's been conversation this year about that, as we know, Billy. People talked about this.
Yeah, and it's been a lot more people trying to talk about it as the leadoff hitter, and I think that's fair. Where you want somebody that's producing at a high clip there in the leadoff role. Conversely, I wouldn't put Garrett Mitchell there because I think he's right now too valuable as a run producer. You put somebody that's hitting kind of slumping in the 6 or 7 role, you're going to find yourself not being able to extend the rally like an Andrew Vaughn or Jake Powers has done this, that, and the third. But the DH role in particular, Yelich is a DH. Like, I think we can fully take it out of
outfielder.
You might as well take it off of his baseball reference.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe it's an outfielder. He is a DH.
Yeah.
And he's played, 1 game in left field this year?
Yeah, it's really dropped off the table. I mean, he's basically an emergency option at this point in the outfield.
And he's a designated hitter. Now, it does hurt when the designated hitter is not hitting to the point that you're going with.
Because that's the job. Right?
But I think the old school blend of UC DH, and a lot of people are still counting on it being the Adam Dunn, Russell Branyan, Edwin Encarnacion slugger that we kind of knew and loved.
Right.
Where you're not getting that kind of power. I don't believe you're all of a sudden just going to find, 10 bombs in August here coming up for Christian Yelich. The slug might be an issue. But to me, if he's going to be at the top of the lineup, if he's gonna be in the lineup, he's going to DH. So we might as well just remove that part of the conversation and say, well, you maybe need more power out of the DH role. I just don't. It's not happening necessarily. So like, as much as Armen, I get the conversation around it, they don't necessarily, I believe, have many other options that are going to be light years different. We're talking about Joey Ortiz and the offensive explosion. My man didn't have an extra base hit for 6 weeks. So they've somehow muddled through and found their way a half game back of the best record in baseball. With this being the course of action, you got to be hoping the offense is getting better from here, because I don't think all of a sudden you're adding some new wrinkle here and taking out one of your captain, leader, stalwart guys out of the lineup here with 59 games to play.
I just don't think it's an option, especially if he stays moderately successful as he has. You know, we're only judging him on his past. We're only judging him on his own standard. So right now his OPS is like at 710, 720. You know, it's not great by any stretch, but it's also not super awful either. We're just judging him on his own ability, his own past, what we think we should get from him, which is understandable, and what we'd like to get out of the role of DH. But to your point, Billy, it's not like there's some obvious power option off the bench. You know, there's no Frank. I mean, I'm going to get there's no
But I also don't think there's one readily available on the market that's jumping off of the page.
Definitely not. Everyone can throw out power bat like it's the easiest thing just to throw out there, the easiest apple to pick from the tree to talk about the trade deadline. Let's get a power ball. Well, let's talk in reality. Who are the ones available? There aren't many available, especially if you want a lefty. So, I don't know. There are more lefties than righties available this year, but the reality is there aren't just a bunch of Chris Carters that are just going to give you nothing but power, or Jesus Aguilar is available. Like, it's not like, there's no Jesus Aguilar available like on the bench where it's like, boy, he could hit 30 homers if he just got a shot every day.
The one that I do wonder, and it would be interesting to see if a platoon situation could happen in the DH role, would be a way to make sure you're getting Andrew Vaughn's bat in the lineup.
That's the one. That's the one.
Right. Yeah. Because the lack of consistency in his opportunities, I think, leads to, there's obviously going to be frustration for him and player, but the somewhat unevenness in performance. He's one of your better hitters, and it's difficult to get in any kind of rhythm when you're hitting 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been great as a pinch hitter, albeit his at-bats are very, very good. Like, he still delivers you a good at bat, even if the results haven't been there.
Yeah.
But I would wonder, and maybe Bowers, it kind of corrects itself, because Bowers is starting to come back down to earth over the last week and a half. And that platoon over at first base becomes more of the true right-left combo. But I would be wondering if you see even more left-handers into the on the bump for an opponent, if you're seeing Andrew Vaughn's name somewhat crossing into that DH role a couple of more times.
Yeah.
Giving Yelich some natural days off. And also maybe you can pick and choose your spot with Yelich later into the game
to help his own
where, again,
production.
you know that he is going to give you a good at bat, to the point where maybe he's still getting on base with another one of his patented balls.
And that's what a platoon can do for you. You create a player in the aggregate. You don't necessarily just do it hoping Yelich becomes the MVP bat or Vaughn individually. But hey, if we have both guys doing what they do best, which is maybe Yelich against righties, obviously, and then Vaughn against lefties, that's the opportunity to create an aggregate DH that's better. So it does make a lot of sense. I wonder, Billy, if a lot of it is just because, look, this is the regular season. This is the middle of July. We're in the dog days. We've got the best or close to the best record in baseball. We're winning a lot. We're okay dealing with this in the meantime to try and get the guy we want to get regular at-bats to try and get through this. But obviously, when it comes to playoff time is going to be the question. Like, right now, the Brewers can afford to do this because they're winning. But when you get to playoff time is the question of, all right, every single day now in the playoffs, we're trying very carefully to construct the best lineup that might give us the best chance to win. That's when you might see it like, is it time to sit Yelich against the lefties? Is it time to give Vaughn that chance? Assuming Jake Bauer still has a stranglehold in that spot. And like you said, that remains to be seen. So I think that's going to be the interesting thing going forward. Not as much now, but if you get to the spot where you don't know what to count on, and last year wasn't a good playoffs for Yelich, and that's sort of been a trend, do you try that to sit him down more? Because the thought was, I think always like, that's your vet, that's your experience. You want him in a playoff at-bat role no matter what the situation is, but that might not be the case anymore for Yelich if we continue to see what we're seeing.
Yeah, and also I do wonder if he can find some kind of strength in being able to come off the bench. Like that's just a difficult spot to get into. There's a reason why you recognize and remember the great pinch hitters. That's why Matt Stairs had it on his baseball reference page. It ain't an easy thing to do where you know that you're going to get called upon one time a day.
It's a skill.
And to be able to harness that skill. I don't know that a guy that's played every day for 11 years is all of a sudden just going to flip the switch and be a great pinch hitter. Vaughn's done an okay job at it, but I think admittedly so, he's much better with 3 or 4 at-bats in a game. I just be interested to see if the more you get down the stretch into August, if you do see a lot more lefties that you're facing, if you do see a little bit less of Christian Yelich. Like, I think that could be a possibility, but it's not just all of a sudden when you see him in the lineup. If he's in the lineup, he's going to be in the leadoff spot, because I don't necessarily know that you're benefiting a whole lot putting him elsewhere, because you're then sacrificing some run production right there in the middle of the lineup if you're moving Garrett Mitchell out of the 5-hole. He's been one of your most productive power guys over the last 6 or 7 years.
And the thing is, when Yelich is going right, he should be a great on-base guy too. And you want that in your leadoff spot, as well as what he can do with the bat. In theory, he should be able to take a lot of walks. Now, maybe that's an aspect of his game we have to see more. But if he's doing that a lot, you want him in that role. And we'll see. We've talked about what Yelich has done over the last week with the extra base hits, getting one here, a double a day, keeps the DH away. So maybe he is kind of slowly slogging his way out of this quagmire with not necessarily like a bunch of 4-for-4 days, but slowly improving the simmering, putting that heater to the high and the medium low, a little bit, and then slowly going to rebuild this house.
We're not firing this thing all the way up to an 8 on the number right away. We'll chill at a 4.
But it can be a slow burn. I mean, that's okay.
The who's hot, who's not wrap up. Do we now have to put the Red Sox into the not category because they lost for the first time in a week or 2 weeks?
They lost, although they won that yesterday. So because they had the doubleheader. So it is kind of funny how that works. Yeah, Red Sox had a 15-game win streak snapped.
In game 2 of the doubleheader, they tied their franchise record for longest win streak, and it could not have come at a bigger time for the Boston Red Sox, because they just went from Sellers and us looking at Aroldis Chapman and Sonny Gray packages to who are they going to package to be in the lineup with Caleb Durbin and Andrew Monasterio and Anthony Siegler.
That's right.
We'll discuss the Brewers' possibilities coming up at the deadline, and the Joey Ortiz renaissance, the Christian Yelich conversation we were just having, amongst other things. Brewers next, when our guy Hunter Baumgardt, Hunter B on air, our Brewers reporter, joins the conversation. Huddles up with us on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Huddled up to talk some baseball with our friend Hunter Baumgardt. Hunter B on air joins the Huddle Mondays and Thursdays talking crew, and it's all brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care, South 27th, just north of 894. We're usually not the traffic show. If you are traveling northbound from Racine to downtown, I believe it's 41. I just don't do it. Don't do it. They said 80 minutes on the news, on the update.
Wow.
There is a freeway shutdown. There was a big semi accident. They didn't have a shade of red accurate enough to depict how stopped you were. They might as well just make it black. Like, you're not moving anywhere. So take a different route if you're coming up north from Racine, and saddle up, because we'll have it and we'll occupy your ears for the ride. It might be a little bit longer, and we get to go and hang out with our friend Hunter Baumgardt now to make that drive a little less painful. Hunter B is going to make your drive home very enjoyable coming up tonight with Milwaukee baseball tonight on these Thursdays. Hunter, good series to say the least this week. So far, 5-1 into the second half. That's how you sprint to the finish with 60 plus to play out of the All-Star break.
Yeah, about as good as you could have asked, I think, for the start to the second half, specifically because they went into the break on that 3-game sweep by the Pirates. I mean, they had some momentum. They took 4 of 5 in St. Louis, and then just all that momentum went out the window on a grand slam that Aaron Ashby gave up on that first game of the doubleheader, and they just couldn't recover the next couple of days. And so it's great to see him bounce back. You know, I think Trevor McGill talked about it yesterday. Miz talked about it the night before. Just like, yeah, it's really good to get that kind of that bad taste in your mouth outside of your mouth. Now it's gone. Let's get that, put that in the rear view mirror. And now you're playing well again and back to what you want to be as we go into the second half. So yeah, it was a really good series. I think overall, obviously you're going to have dud of a game. And that's exactly what happened on Tuesday night. Maybe the most non-memorable game of the year, like nothing to write home about at all. But then the first game was really fun to watch. Obviously you put 7 runs against Freddie Peralta. And then yesterday was just kind of a gritty win, right? You come back again. The Brewers continue to have the best record in ball when the other team scores first. Like, you just feel like when you know a team is pretty good when the other team can score first or have a lead, and you say, oh, the Brewers are still in it. Brewers are still in it. And you felt that way even Tuesday night against the Mets, but that one just felt like Thornton was on. And that was going to be a little tougher, and especially once you went down 3 or 4-0 in that game. But yesterday it was like, all right, they're down 1-0. They can easily come back, and they did. And Joey Ortiz and Christian Yelich were the 2 to drive in runs yesterday.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing where it hasn't always worked this way, but it does feel like this year especially that you just always believe the Brewers are going to come back and win, no matter what the situation. Early deficit, not having the early lead. But there's this kind of confidence, and I feel like they have it. And I feel like some of these other teams deep down believe it too, that Brewers just keep finding a way to win, and that's what we saw again yesterday. And sometimes it's baseball's a weird game, right, Hunter? Because it felt like 2 nights ago there were a lot of long and hard hit outs that the Brewers kept getting into, and then you have a game like last night where Joey's ball could have probably been caught by a good right fielder, but it wasn't. So things kind of evened out in that way.
They do, and it feels like they do, throughout a season. The win on Sunday, William Contreras hitting the 3-run home run, like that type of thing. When you hit a run like that, that is exactly taking back a game probably we're going to lose. In a lot of worlds, you probably lost that game to the Marlins in the finale. But the good news is you won that game, and that goes back to maybe that Padres game that Sheets hit that home run earlier in the season, where the Brewers were probably in a lot of worlds going to win that game. So it all kind of evens out at the end of the season. And so it's what you do in those other games. And look, even if a team wins 100 games, you're going to lose 62. So if that's the case, what do you do in those other games? And so far the Brewers have won a lot of those other games.
That old adage of you win 54, you lose 54. What do you do in the other 54 to make up the 162? There's some real truth to it. Hunter Baumgardt, Hunter B on air is where you follow his coverage of the crew. Now, Hunter, as we talked, you mentioned Yelich's name as well. Joey Ortiz in there. I think people have there's 2 very separate camps on Joey Ortiz. I think there has been for a long time. There were some that occupied, myself included, of the let's try to find anybody else to potentially take this job. when that was the shortstop role. Now he goes over to third base, and the folks like Armen and the others that said, hey, man, look at what he did when he was hitting over at third base his rookie year. The bat was a lot better at certain times, and the defensive numbers were always there. Is there a marriage of the two? Is this just patience finally paying off, or do you think this is just a hot run right now for number 3 that we're seeing?
Man, I think it's showing that a lot of baseball can be, and we talk about it, and the famous quote that talks about the mental side of the game, right? But I think it really can be mental and confidence, and Pat Murphy talks about that side of the game a lot. And I think you're seeing it right now with Joey Ortiz. I mean, just the freedom, right? It's one thing to have a guy that you know is going to come up at some point and steal your job. Like, you literally, for the first couple months of the season, Joey Ortiz is playing under the guise of, we know Cooper Pratt's coming up at some point this season and going to steal your shortstop job. It just was the reality of the situation. Now he's playing at third base, and as Pat Murphy has literally told him, like, you could still have a really good, great major league career even if you're not the Brewers shortstop every day. And he has taken that and ran with it at third base. And he, Pat Murphy compared him to Miguel Rojas. Miguel Rojas is a very key member, obviously, of the LA Dodgers now. And just a couple of days ago, Pat Murphy compared him to him. And just like, I think Joey Ortiz is at third base. Is obviously the defense is there. We all know that. But when the offense comes through, it makes that offense, that lineup, so much longer. Like, now you can look at a lineup, and when we looked at that lineup in April or in May, you looked at that 7 through 9, and maybe it was Greg Jones at the time, and then Joey Ortiz, and maybe David Hamilton wasn't hitting well. You looked at that 7 through 9, and like, oh man, the top 6 has got to do something, because then once you hit 7, 8, 9, it's not good. You feel like 1 through 9, that team can get a hit at any time now, and that is what this team had last year. 1 through 9, you felt, and maybe Joey Ortiz at times, and there were times where he was hot, maybe for a month or so, but maybe you felt that maybe 9 wasn't great. But otherwise, 1 through 8, Durbin was down there. You felt like Durbin could do something. 1 through 8, now 1 through 9, you feel like they can get a hit at any time. That is what is going to make your offense better than it was. And we've seen, really, honestly, we've seen the bottom of the order maybe even be better than the top of the order as of late, and really drive these games and put the Brewers in this 5-1 mark after the All-Star break.
And it's a telltale sign of a good team, right? When you can consistently win through the peaks and valleys that a lineup is naturally going to have over the course of a season. And whatever, ways we find to nitpick the Brewers or kind of tweak and look at things and wonder about where we can help at the trade deadline, all these discussions, they're under the umbrella of consistent winning baseball to the tune of nearly the best record in baseball, Hunter. And that's what's impressive about what they've done.
Yeah, 51-40 or 51-25 since April 26th, which is the best record in ball since that time. Obviously, they're just off the pace of the best record in ball behind the Dodgers and held it for a day earlier this week. But that is, again, like 51-25. That's, I mean, you're winning 2 out of 3 games for whatever that is now, almost 3 months. It'll be 3 months and 3 days of winning 2 out of 3 games every single time out. And sure, there's some fluctuations in there. Maybe you win 4, you lose a few, whatever it is. But overall, they're averaging winning 2 out of 3. And look, that's what you do. You just win the series. They won their 22nd series of the season yesterday. So it's that offense, that bottom of the order. Cooper Pratt looking better and more comfortable at the plate.
Yeah,
we've liked the at bats that we've gotten from Luis Lara so far. However, we want to see, obviously, some more consistent playing time. If he is going to get it, will probably help him in that regard, but we'll see if that does come to fruition.
Hunter, this is going to be a very boring and probably dumb question for you, so I apologize for lowering your baseball intellect to it, and appreciate you playing in the sandbox here. Do we have the year motto, the season motto yet? Like the Undaunted was in 2024. I'm drinking out of currently the Power of Friendship coffee mug from a year ago.
Yeah, we haven't branded it yet.
Do we have the mantra? Do we have the name of the 2026 season?
Pat Murphy's probably the guy who would come up with, he loves those type of things. I think even if he doesn't try, he usually is able to come up with one. I don't think we do. I mean, he's had the motto of relentless for all 3 years, so that can't really necessarily just be 2026. Although the team is relentless. I mean, you win as many games as they are, and they're
very
relentless.
much. Yes,
and they're still friends. I'm sure,
and they do have a relentless kind of often late into the game. That one could play. I do. Right. I think they still are friends. I've heard Murph say undaunted a couple of times since 2024. But I mean, we are within 60 games of the end of the year,
and it's marketing time, right? It's branding time.
I'm trying to figure out what they're going to put on that awesome banner on the outside of the stadium going into the playoff time. And generally speaking, we kind of have that motto. Like the franchise would always come up with a song. At this point, you don't have a song. Yeah. You might not get one for 2026. Does this team not need that, or is this just one that's not going to have one yet?
You know, that's a really good. I wonder if one will come about here in the next 2 months. You know, we all remember the claws up. You know, that's one of them of years past.
That was a goofy one. Yeah.
Beast Mode was phenomenal though from T Plush back in 2011.
Because that felt more organic than claws up for me. I'm just saying,
The interesting part, and you asked if they really need one. I think it's actually a really good point. This team has been really good for the last few years. This team is not just they're scraping into the playoffs as the 6th seed.
Yeah,
they're
that's
scraping
the thing.
in as winning it by a game. This team's like been one of the best in baseball for a few years now. That like it's not that they're too good for those, because I think those can be fun and those are good connectors to the fans and everything like that. But like at this point, it's just like, yeah, we're good. So, we're just going to go out and win games. Like, and then that at the end of the day, for us in the media, I love those type of things. I love those, because you can reference them, and whether it be writers in their stories or us on the radio, like you can reference those types of things and say, oh, that was a good example of this year's motto, whatever, undaunted, right? Pat Murphy, by the way, has an undaunted tattoo after that 2024 season. So that obviously has not left his sights.
Yeah, well, he's going to run out of skin because of the amount of time we win. He's going to get tattoos every year. See, that's the thing is we've been winning so much, it's hard to keep sustaining new things because you've had so much to fill. It's because I mentioned this to you earlier, but like it was sort of like the old Giannis thing. It's like you make the remarkable unremarkable, and that's what it's become. It's because we're so used to it. Maybe unremarkable. How about that? Because I
don't think that catchphrase is going to sell very much.
No, but I like it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably not what they're going to try to put on the banner outside of the season. Well, the 2026 Brewers, unremarkable.
Because we've been doing it. That's kind of the
I do think that one might be tough. That one might be. That's a good one for your chili, but I don't know that it's. I don't know that it's great for this.
I think yes, I understand why some people might on the surface be like, "What?" But that's kind of the point. But whatever. Okay, it's a deep thought. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Hunter. Yeah.
I was going to say, what if they make a big splash at the trade? I don't know how likely that is, but I don't know. There's Arnold had some comments yesterday that signaled maybe they're going to be maybe a little bit aggressive, and we can get into that. But what if what if they do make a big trade? Would it be all in?
Now that could be very much it. And I'm glad you referenced it, and I appreciate you doing that with Matt Arnold because it did. You can take what you want from GMs when they walk to the podium. We talk about it with the NFL draft all the time. Goody's going to tell you, he's actually going to tell you something. Like he's not going to tell you, hey, we're taking this guy. But this year he's like, we need to add cornerbacks. They take 2. And their first one was a corner. It felt like Matt Arnold wanted to say something yesterday and said something without downright saying, hey man, we are open for business and we are going shopping.
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way. He saying we're definitely active is one of the quotes that he had yesterday. He said, quote, "It takes 2 to tango, and the market right now is fairly tight. Just given the number of teams in play for the playoffs, it's good for the game, but it makes it harder if you're trying to buy." But he said we want to be in play as much as we can. So some of those quotes from Matt Arnold, courtesy of Adam McKelvey of MLB.com, and Adam McKelvey also said on Brewers TV yesterday that they seem to be possibly more aggressive than they have been in the past. So something to watch as well. I know some of the national folks have been hinting at that as well. So maybe where there's smoke, there's a little fire there. I haven't personally talked to Matt Arnold here as of late. Usually we do get some sort of availability with him before the trade deadline. So hopefully that's the case at some point. But otherwise, I was thinking about this on my drive home yesterday as I was pondering leaving the park. But I was kind of thinking, if there is a year for this team to go for, there have been other years, and it's like, when's the window going to happen? When, okay, maybe it's not this year, but look, this would be your 4th straight division title. You got to the NLCS last year. You had the best record in baseball last year. You're flirting with it this year. Like, at what point? And I get the prospects and everything like that, but man, and John Heyman, who knows baseball pretty well, tweeted last night, it's the Dodgers and Brewers, and then it's everybody else. Like, there is a open with how weak the AL is this year. And then you look at the Braves, who've kind of taken a downturn. Any of these teams can make a run in the playoffs. I think the Phillies can, the Braves can, they can.
Yeah.
But the Brewers are a really, really good baseball team in a lot of different ways. And if that means adding a piece that you think could get you over the top, not just in the next 2 months, because you have a 7-game lead over the Cubs after the loss last night. Like, it's about getting over the top in October. And if that's a Skubal or a Mason Miller or someone,
there's the name.
I don't know. Like, it's incredibly tempting. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, based on what we've seen in the past. But man, maybe this is the year.
The Mason Miller name was the one that I fired up yesterday as the hot take of the day. That I think he's, frankly, Hunter, I think he fits better for the Brewers than Skubal potentially. Like, I know their pen is good. You add that to the back end, it's great. And I think there's only a couple of teams that can actually make the move, and the Brewers are one of maybe the 2 teams actually armed to be able to make a package that would be tantalizing to San Diego.
Yep, I think that, and that's the key to this too. When there are not when there are a lot of buyers who can give up the most, and the Brewers are one of the top because they have one of the top farm systems in baseball and what the prospects they can give you. So I think that is definitely something to watch, because I think teams are going to be very interested in what the Brewers have in their minor league system if you're a bad team and you're a seller this year.
All right,
hey, I heard that.
We just got to start cheering against the San Diego Padres.
Yes, pondering.
Let's go Braves.
Pondering, coming to a podcast network near you.
That would be a good one. Yes, pondering with Hunter.
That's it.
Wow, that's a phenomenal. You just walked right into one. There it is.
That's his new future right there.
Hunter, you're the man. We'll talk to you later. Appreciate it, brother.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Milwaukee baseball tonight, coming up tonight with Hunter Baumgardt right here on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, as well as all of these same social channels that you will find coming up later on this evening, and enjoy it. And it's all brought to you. All of Hunter's work is brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Round 3rd, head for home on the other side. Hunter leaves. Armen's right there. I'm Billy. We'll finish this thing up and wrap it up in the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin next. Coming up tonight, 6 to 7, right here on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin and on all of the Fox Sports Wisconsin YouTube and social channels. It's Milwaukee Baseball Tonight. We just chatted with the host of that show, Hunter Baumgardt, on this show, The Huddle, and thinking about it more during the break. I think maybe the wake and bake story of the day would be maybe me asking Hunter what the motto of the year for the Milwaukee Brewers would be, right in the midst of trade deadline conversation and the franchise players starting to get warmed. All of a sudden, Joey Ortiz is rolling through. We didn't even ask about Logan Henderson.
I was thinking about that during the break.
Didn't even mention the upcoming series that starts. So the wake and bake story of the day, brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and happyplacehemp.com, is the L by the host, not asking the pertinent questions and asking the dumb, maybe wake and bake questions. But like, because Armen, I mean this in the most serious way.
Yeah.
By this time last year, I think I already was drinking out of the Power of Friendship coffee mug.
Yeah,
I think Undaunted already had T-shirts by this point.
And you know what? I still think it's a good observation and question, and that's the type of conversation we have.
And maybe the different one would be: do they really need one, or are they now above that? Because I don't know that I've seen the Dodgers change their little shake when they get to second base in 4 years.
Why should they? They keep winning.
I don't think I've ever heard them throw some kind of catchphrase on a year.
Maybe ours is no need to do anything.
Now, we did have Tommy and Stalis say drag them, which I appreciate. I like that one.
I kind of like drag them, but it's got to happen from a source of something.
They definitely used that earlier in the year, I think, when they were talking about dragging at bats, but it kind of went away. So, So we got to see something else. Our friend Phil in Merrimack did say, go get Mason Miller before the Dodgers or another contender will. Phil, it's a good point. The Dodgers one's interesting. Like, again, one of the reasons why I think the Brewers are one of the maybe two teams that can make the deal. I think it would come down to probably the Brewers and the Yankees.
Okay.
Because the Yankees would want to pair him with David Bednar, who they went big time after last year at the deadline. And they have requisite pitching coming up in the organization that you'd be able to throw at the Padres that would be appetizing. Yeah. They have prospects. I don't know that San Diego wants to trade him first and foremost.
That's the first question.
Only 2 games out of a playoff spot. That's tough to do. I know one thing they definitely don't want to do. They definitely don't want to trade him to LA.
Definitely not.
Like they would, if the Brewers had that asset, would they want to trade him to the Chicago Cubs?
No, I don't see that happening.
Hell no. And I don't see that happening with the Padres and Dodgers either.
I think they dream of beating the Dodgers in the playoffs one way or the other.
Yeah, and having Miller close it out. So I'm with you on that. We'll see, though. If he's moved, it needs to be here. And if you're moving to the internet, go to happyplacehemp.com. Use promo code HUDDLE. Get 25% off your entire order and free shipping. We are back tomorrow to close out the week. Sans Drew with our friend Wayne Larrabee at 7:25. Voice of the Green Bay Packers joins us tomorrow. We talk some camp as we're inside a week away from Ray Nitschke Field being the home of your Green Bay Packers once again. For Armen, I'm Billy. Thanks to Hunter for joining us. Scott Dolphin and all of you. It's been the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Peace.